What's going on, motherfuckers? Welcome to the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast. My name is Naaackers, and today is Sunday, April 5th, 2020. This is episode number 116. And tonight, after 3 months, I have BishopGP and MiddleAgedStream. MiddleAgedStream, how you doing today, dude?
What's crack-a-lackin', playa?
That's good. How you doing today, man?
All right, man. How are you?
I'm good. Bishop, what's up, buddy?
What's up, man? I'm doing good. I spent literally 9 hours yesterday rebuilding my water cooling loop, so I haven't played any games this weekend, so it's been pretty terrible. But
Fun.
I'm doing good.
Good. I see you have your privilege earpods in and ready to go.
Yeah, these are the 2006 circa version of the plug-in-able earpods, but I have them plugged into my headset like this. See how they like? So this is a wireless headset with.
Dude, that is the
it's
what?
So stupid.
Why?
But it works. I just hate, like, I don't know, my ears get really warm, you know?
Dude, I'm the same way. And like, even though I just started using these,
yeah,
I'm still not used to them. Like they feel good, but my ears still get hot, and I miss having.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, I just get hot, man. You know, like I was a kid that had like hot feet, so I had to like pop my socks off all the time. All my extremities they just get warm, man. Except for my fingers. I think.
Did you do that shit in class? Did you just all of a sudden decide, hey, I'm gonna take my shoes and socks off right in the middle of class?
No, okay. I don't think I ever did it in school, but I definitely did it in everywhere else.
So I actually, just before we got started, I was feeling a little bit toasty, and then so I just took my socks off.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow. Perfect timing. Next stream we'll have earbuds in, all of us.
No, I'm not going to stoop that low.
I don't really wear socks around the house that much. Usually, like, socks, I just put on when I'm leaving my house. I have not been wearing much in the way of socks lately. I wear a lot of flip-flops.
Do you have carpets in your house? Like just carpets throughout? Yeah, we have.
No, we have hard floor too, but
okay. This
room has the rooms that I'm in mainly have carpet. So
gotcha. Yeah, because the hardwood or we have concrete through our entire apartment, and it's like there's like little tiny shit, like little stuff that sticks on there, and then it sticks on your feet. I just have to wear socks. It's just the way to go for me, at least.
I totally had something to say, and then I completely forgot about it.
You're probably gonna be like, go ahead.
No, I want you to know what you think I was gonna say.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say, wow, I wonder why your ears are. Does it have anything to do with the fact you're wearing a beanie?
Oh, okay. Well, at least only half of your ears are covered.
Right.
No
tips.
When I had a clip of me falling out of my chair get posted to either live stream fails or just the Rocket League subreddit, and the top comments were, "Why does this asshole wear shoes inside?" Because I always used to wear my shoes when I was live. I would just always have my shoes on. And that was the number one thing that I got made fun of for that clip, and not the actual context of the clip.
That is a bit weird, to be completely honest. Like that's kind of spooking me out. Like if I knew that Jimmy was wearing shoes right now, that would be kind of strange, right? Like I think that when it comes down to podcasting, the expectation is that your shoes are off, you know?
No, see, I'm just kind of like a shoes all the time kind of guy. Oh, this motherfucker's got flip-flops.
You got your little flip-flops, dude?
Yeah.
Flip-flops be popping?
I mean, sometimes I have them on. I just forget to pop them off on the stairs, and I'll just wear them. I mean, it's almost like you're not wearing anything, so I forget I have them on sometimes.
Right.
Do you enjoy the noise of the heel of the flip-flop slapping the ball of your foot every time you take a step?
I mean, I wear flip-flops so much that I can even avoid those sounds. I can be stealth like a ninja in my flip-flops. I'm
just
pretty
shuffling.
Impressive, actually.
Just shuffle stepping everywhere.
I'm pretty nimble in my flip-flops, man. I could take you motherfuckers down wearing flip-flops. You wouldn't even hear me coming.
That's fair. And hey, by the way, I didn't really discuss this beforehand, but in an effort to cut down on the pre-show fluff, do you guys want to skip introductions as well? Are you comfortable not announcing who you are every episode?
I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, people know who I am.
Right.
Yeah, listen, at this point, we're pretty big deals, all right? I've been on at least 4 podcasts.
Hey.
I am a pretty big deal, you know?
People know who I am.
Just as
they have a...
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. I was just going to say they have this thing, and I was going to talk Animal Crossing later, but especially because I want to talk about Weenie, but they have this thing in Animal Crossing on your passport where you get like different adjectives and things and to change like what your character is, and it shows up when you're showing to someone's town. It has what you've selected. And on mine, it's Jimmy, and then the little thing says internet legend. So that's what shows up when I show up to someone's town. I just think it's fucking hilarious.
Love it. If any of you didn't notice, things at the beginning of the podcast have changed a little bit. So we're cutting out pretty much the majority of the beginning. So we're no longer going to start with a pre-show and then start the podcast a half an hour later. The aim is to go live at 8:55 to play the intro song from 8:55 to 9. That pre-roll video that lasts 60 seconds talks about how to submit questions in chat, how to leave a review for the podcast, all of the lame shit that nobody cares about. That's all going to be into a pre-roll video now, so that when the cameras go live at 9:02 on a perfect Sunday, we're just going to be going right into the podcast. The recording starts. We're getting right into it. With how early Jimmy wakes up for his day job, and with me waking up a little bit earlier now, we don't really give a shit about Bishop because he stays up until 5 a.m. anyways.
How did you know this?
We had to find a way to kind of cut some time so that we weren't getting off of the computers at 11 p.m. Eastern every single show.
It's actually more like about you than me anymore, because I'm actually getting up later now than I used to.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because you're not really leaving the house.
Yeah, I actually get to sleep in now. It's been one of the really nice. I've been trying to look at positives with everything that's been going on in the world, and that is one positive for me. I'm getting at least an hour or more of sleep every day. It's fucking great.
Oh, man, don't you love it?
Oh, it feels so good. But, dude, I'm totally with you. Dude, you're getting up at 4:30?
4:30. Yep.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
I haven't done that shit since I was in the Army.
Oh, my God. I'll tell you what. It's fucking fantastic. Sometimes it sucks. Like, it really sucks. And on the weekends, because we did a late night last night, I slept in today. I just didn't even set an alarm because I'm like, you know what? After that long ass day, I'm just going to take all the rest my body's going to give me. And then on like Saturdays, I'll usually wake up at 5:30 instead of 4:30. It all depends on like what I get into the night before. One of the main reasons I didn't want to start getting up early is because nighttime is prime time video game time. Like that's me cutting that out of my life is missing out on a lot of gaming opportunities with my friends. So I'm not saying no to video games in the evening. It's just when they happen, I'm like, you know what? I'll be fine if I wake up 1 hour later at one day this week. It's not going to ruin my schedule. And I've been able to withhold that so far.
Are you still waking up that early on the weekend?
Did you not listen to anything I just fucking
I think it's 5:30. I think it's 5:30. He gets an extra hour. Of
What?
I thought you were talking about like the work day.
The last 60 seconds. Nothing?
I have been listening to you. I'm not very good at listening.
I'm going to be completely honest. I wasn't listening at all.
That's all right.
Just completely spaced out.
See now that you guys changed fucking headphones? Little Jimmy's got earphones now. You've got earbuds. God damn it. Anyways, weekends, I aim for 4:30, but I don't slight myself if I wake up at 5
Dude,
or 5:30.
I got to say, well done. Wow.
Thank you.
I'm impressed. Because that sort of thing, it takes discipline. And that's why I was able to do it in the military, because I had the discipline and the reinforcement of said if I wasn't getting was going to be there. So I was doing it. But to do it on your own, that takes a special type of discipline. Because I'll tell you what, I have never in my life willfully chosen to get up at 4:30 unless I had something I had to do.
Right.
So or earlier. I've been up earlier than that, but I'm just saying, hats off to you. I'm all joking aside. That takes a lot of discipline, and I'm proud of you, man. That's really, really good.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're in a situation where you can do that for yourself. You know?
Yeah. And you inspire me, Naaackers. I'm gonna try. I have to fix my.
I ain't waking up at fucking 4:30. I'm telling you that.
Maybe not 4:30, but maybe like 6 or 7. You know,
good. That's a good thing to do. 6 is good. Like,
how did you convince yourself? How did you convince yourself to to go to bed earlier? Like what? Like, because obviously there's so many things at night that you want to be able to want to be doing. So how do you just be like, I'm going to bed.
There's 2 parts to that. One, and when you're No melatonin. When you're in such a bad place mentally that nothing that you love is appealing to you anymore, it's not difficult to go wait. It's like getting trying 7 different prescription drugs to fix your brain, and then there's a chance that there's one more, or there's this one final surgery that can finally fix me. And that's like when it was like, okay, this is the one thing that might help. I was like, there was no problem. And the other side of that is once you start waking up at 4:30, when 9 o'clock rolls around, your body is going to bed. There is, even if you're sitting at the computer doing something, if you have a shitty sleep schedule where you wake up super, super late, it's easy to sit at the computer at 11 p.m. midnight because your body's used to it. But when you've been up for 19 hours and 10 p.m. rolls around, your eyes start to just fall, and then you walk to the bedroom and you pass right the fuck out. But yeah, the motivation for it was, what the fuck else can I do to try and fix what is going on with me right now? And that was one of the things.
No,
how,
dude,
how do you prevent yourself from slanting, going to bed later and later and later? Right? Like if you go to bed at 9 and then you go to bed at 9:15 the next night, and then 9:30 and then 10 and then 11, and eventually you're back up till 5 a.m.
You kind of Jimmy alluded to, that's where the discipline comes in, because if you go to bed at 11, you have to get up at the same time again, because if you make a habit of waking up later and later, you're just going to destroy the routine again. And one of the things that I meant to touch on this in the video that I played, but that was one of the reasons that I had it. Half of the reason that I needed to take the break wasn't because of the mental stuff. It was because if I was going to try and implement this new routine, I had to give it my all. I couldn't have the excuse of, I stayed up too late streaming, so I can't wake up early. I had to wake up at the same time every day, weekday and weekend. I had to exercise first. I had to set that in. I was like, it's going to take months. And it did.
I want to stop you for a second so I can interject something, because I was curious and I meant to ask you yesterday, and I feel like this is the perfect opportunity to ask. So for those of you listening now, or you didn't know what we were referring to, so Naaackers, he's been gone from streaming for the last 3 months. He came back yesterday evening, and at the start of his stream, he played a video, a 5-hour-long video that we all watched together. It was only a little over an hour maybe, but we watched, and he basically broke down all the things that he had been dealing with, and we'll talk about some of those things on the podcast tonight, because I have a few questions for you. But there was one question I had when you were making that video and you were recording it. I thought that there were a lot of things that were relevant to what's going on in the world right now with COVID-19, and I wanted to know how much of this video was recorded before it started to get bad.
All of it.
All of it? Yep. Yeah. That's what I kind of thought.
Yep.
It's kind of what I thought. I thought there were a lot of things that were relevant to it, but I just thought it was interesting because as I was watching, I was like, man, I wonder how much of this he recorded in the, I don't know what else to call it, the before time?
Right. Before.
Because everything's different now. So you recorded all of it in the before time. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm now actually kind of curious when these were recorded. So does this not give me a date? Are you kidding me? I installed this new extension on my computer that gives me a bunch of info when you hover over something. Saturday, March 14th was when I recorded the sitting when I recorded the sitting talking portion of it. That was right when things were just starting to, people were actually starting to wake up about it. People that weren't. Yeah. I guess it all depends on date of first Michigan COVID case. I think the one in March 24th. Yeah. So 10 days before. Yeah. So it was, and that's, who really is that concerned about it when it's not even in your state, right? Something changes when it hits your country, all right? And then you go into DEFCON 1. You're like, yeah. And then it, and then it hits like the states around, and you go to DEFCON 2, and then it's in your state, and then all of a sudden it's in your fucking city. And it's like these articles start coming out like, hey, the 4 people that have had this virus, these are the 17 restaurants that they've hit. And you're like, I know where that is. I know where that is. That place is 2 minutes from my house. But yeah, so that was kind of before this all started unraveling. And I know some people that follow world news like really, really closely. They've been on top of it and obsessing since day 1 or day 0, I should say. Right. But the majority of people, ones that maybe aren't so in tune with that kind of thing, they're not really paying attention quite yet.
Okay. No, I wanted to ask. So thank you. I was curious how much of that you did record in the before time. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah. I want to say that 90% of that video had been written middle of February. I think I had the script for the most part done in the middle of February. And then I had started actually recording the A-roll and the B-roll at some point in March. And then again, March 14th was the majority. By the way, I don't know which one of you said I was reading a teleprompter in that pre-roll video. I was not. There was no teleprompter there.
Oh, well, hey, I'll give you another round of applause.
Thank you.
Just that's not as impressive, so it's not going to be as loud.
Wow. But yeah, the videos for the One Thought, 3 Different Days video, that I recorded that all in one sitting. That was just one night of just sitting and recording. And that I was kind of proud of.
Yeah, that's good.
Does the whole situation with the COVID situation, does that kind of bring your, I mean, obviously anxiety goes up, but does it bring certain things into perspective, right? Because like once you get into like the monotony of doing the same thing over and over and over again, that's where, with a lot of people, depression sets in, right? Because they don't really see change happening. They keep running into the same wall over and over and over again.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just going to finish that by saying like, did having this happen, did it kind of distract you from like internal issues for a second just because you were worried about something completely different?
The only aspect that has been altered for me is running in the morning. I was running at the gym a lot when it was really cold. And now that it's a little bit nicer, I've been too scared to go for runs. Even though they've told you that it's fine, I can't help but hyper focus on what I shouldn't be doing when I'm outside running. Obviously, when I'm running at 4:30 in the morning, nobody is out. There's maybe one pedestrian that I see at that time. But I just know that I'll be hyper focused on it. And so I haven't ran since we've been at stay at home. So like 2 weeks. But every other aspect, I feel that I'm actually kind of lucky, because if I would have not completely changed my daily routines, that I would be in a much, much worse place. And also the minor anxiety attack that I had earlier this week would have been much, much worse.
You would have been under even less control of like this situation. Like you had something under control instead of like losing your losing your control on other things, right?
Yeah. And to your other point, I would say I very rarely lose perspective on this, because whenever I go into the office, because I still have to go into the office every once in a while, when there's 3 people there, or we go to the corner store and there's plexiglass covering the entire counter. And it's always so weird when like me and Weenie roll up and we've got bandanas over our faces, tucked into our hoodies, our hoods are up, and we're just like, "What's up? We're not robbing you. Yeah. We're just getting some beer."
You guys live in a far more densely populated areas than I do. Like, I live in between 2 large cities for tech, but I mean, both the areas you live in are both very, very large city areas. So I imagine that's got to be more difficult. Like for me, it's I live in a suburb that's already kind of on the outskirts of my city in Texas. And we have a population of over 70,000 here, but it's pretty spread out too. So I don't know, man. I don't really know where I was going with this, but I know that there's a lot of things like the whole mask thing has just come to fruition here where I live, where it was already going on in other places before it was here.
Yeah. Well, the CDC was recommending that people don't wear masks because which kind of fucked everyone over, to be honest. It was kind of a cheese move. It fucked everyone because it caused it to spread more. But the reason that they told standard people not to buy masks is so then there would still be masks for hospital workers.
Right.
Well,
and for, like critical employees.
But people need to understand. Well, they're learning more about this thing all the time. But the other concern was, and I believe this too, one of the reasons they told people not to wear masks is that it's actually, there's evidence you could infect yourself. The probability would be greater if you had a mask because you don't know how to properly wear it and you don't know how to properly remove it.
Right.
And some idiots out there think, oh, well, if I'm wearing a mask, I can stand next to this person and not get it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It gives people a false sense of security. So they were careful of when they wanted to add the guidance that, okay, mask wearing when you're out in public is probably an appropriate thing to do right now, you know?
Right. There's a video that I saw. Casey actually showed it to me. It's a demonstration where they use infrared cameras and they show people speaking without a mask on and showing how much projection comes out of your nose and your mouth versus when you're wearing a mask. I'll get her to send it to me and then I'll post it in chat. But it's pretty crazy, the difference. But I understand that they didn't want a toilet paper situation to happen where like all the masks got bought up, you know?
Right.
But yeah.
They in reference to you, Jimmy, our town is 3 square miles and we have a population of 24,000.
Yeah. That's pretty high population density right there compared to where I'm at.
In our Detroit is obviously a hotspot and there's a couple and we live in the highest concentration county of Michigan as well. So, and with that said, it is fucking insane how many people out and about, no gloves, no masks, not keeping space from, they're actually bumping into you. Like Weenie went to the grocery store a couple days ago just to get like a couple things. And she was like, the place was packed. People were just running into you left and right. Nobody was keeping space. It's like, you people, are you insane? And that's kind of the worst part. And it makes going out it makes you anxious because it's the same thing as just driving. You can be as safe as you fucking want. It's not up to you whether you get hit on the road.
Is somebody else going to do something stupid that's going to get you or somebody else that you love sick?
Yep.
And that's the bottom line. And it was I had to leave the other day. Like I've left my house in the last 2 weeks like barely at all. Like I've gone I've only gone to like drive through. We have groceries. It's like you don't even get out of your car. You order on an app. Like you only get, you got to order like a week in advance. You know what I mean? And then you order on an app. You go through. They open your doors, or your trunk. They put it in. Even if they talk to you, they don't even go to the driver's side. They go to the passenger side window. So they're always trying to maintain that social distancing and everything. And I will have to say this one thing, and I know I'm getting sidetracked because there's so many things to talk about here. But
it's all good, man.
I have been so impressed with a lot of the people working these jobs, like people who work at the grocery stores and the people who work at the corner stores and the people who are just the everyday type of jobs. And you're thrust into a situation where the world is depending on you to do your job well, because otherwise, I mean, nobody wants to think about this, but
it's pandemonium.
It's pandemonium. And so it's a crazy situation.
And I think we always direct towards like focusing on the negative things, right? Because it's I don't know, like the human nature.
Human nature.
You get stressed out, and it's a terrible feeling, but secretly, like people obviously don't like it, but it's something that attracts humans, right? Like being stressed out and feeling like you know more than you do. But at the end of the day, like there's so much good that's happening. Like the amount of people that are staying in is absolutely mind-boggling. The fact that there's so many companies that are literally willing to risk their financial future, like their existence, by sending people home and saying, hey, like we're going to follow through with these orders. Because I mean, a lot of people could just, choose not to do that. I mean, they don't have to, right? Like what's going to stop them? Going to prison, right? You're getting shot you're like, those are your two options, like to stop people from doing shit, to arrest them or to kill them. In which, those two things would be looked very negatively upon in the public eye. But like people don't have to do this. So it's positive that people are willing to like follow through and make sure that this doesn't get extreme.
Yeah.
Which is cool to see, right? I didn't expect that at all because there's so many idiots like
Oh god, yeah.
all over the place. There's so many idiots.
No one who's listening to this podcast, obviously, you know what I mean, or who's
we're all
hearing
smart.
this
They're
chat.
not idiots, right?
These guys know, but everyone else out there, you gotta be careful, guys. I mean, there's some dumbass motherfuckers out there, man.
Yeah, there's some idiots, man.
I know one. She's my grandmother. Okay, so I'm half joking.
I get it.
So I guarantee that all of you have a hyperactive family member that is just taking everything that Dr. Oz says and just going to the fucking moon with it.
Yeah, dude.
Just to give like a small example, and Grandma, if you happen to be listening to this, you're my favorite.
Grandma, I hope you're not listening to this. And if you are, you need to shut the fuck up and listen. Okay, Grandma?
So 12 days ago, she sent out a mass text to our entire family that said, in 9 days, over 150 million people in the United States will be infected. In 9 days. And I'm like, Grandma, that's half the country, if not more. And I understand that we need to take this seriously, but please understand the claims that you are making and that you are sending out to people. And she's like, 9 days, Nicholas, 150 million. And then, of course, 3 days ago, when it was 9 days, we had, I think, less than 100,000 cases, which is a lot compared to 150 fucking million. Not so much.
Not that many.
And of course, I'm not the douchebag that's just like, see, I fucking told you, Grandma. There's no reason for you to be that upset. But you can't. I mean, you just can't. When people are like that, when they're just Fox News on 12 hours a day. Dr. Oz is like TED Talks on the phone. Oh, Facebook. Holy shit. I can't even
Let's be
imagine.
honest. Let's just take a moment to say that people that stay home and have absolutely no medical background, no context, no information. The only places that they're getting their information from is from some fucking bullshit Facebook page that posts conspiracy theories about the government constantly. Like if those are the sources of your information, let's just do everyone a favor right now and just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Okay. Just do us all a favor and just shut the fuck up. Because there's so many fucking idiots. Whenever anything happens, they're just yabbering their fucking mouths off. They work a 9-to-5 bullshit fucking job from the middle America, and they have no fucking context besides watching some dumb shit news channel at the end of the night. And they have absolutely no idea what's happening. I don't speak on a lot of stuff because I have no idea what the hell's going on. I have no idea what sort of like medical things you can and can't do. I'm just doing what the experts are saying.
Exactly.
For years. And if you come to me and ask me about doing live production and you act like you know what you're talking about because you've read shit on a fucking website, I will blast you down because there's no one does that either. Like no one takes those sort of positions because they realize that they're fucking morons. But they're like, oh, this is medical. And I read a fucking blog post written by some stay-at-home mom that's posting videos of her working out. Like, shut the fuck up. Listen to the people that know what they're talking about and just wait it out. Okay.
Well, case in point. Like the guy, I can't remember his name now. The guy who's been doing the press conferences. I don't like to listen to the press conferences in the evening.
Right.
But I like to take after they've been done. I'll look at the sound bites of the doctor, like the Dr. Fauci, or whatever, who is like the CDC's, like the world's leading expert in epidemiology and viruses, and like he's like the shit. Like he's the best doctor in the world. Right. Like he is the guy to talk to about viruses and disease. Like he's the best. All right. So he's the guy who's at these
Resident Evil games. I think I know a thing or two about this guy.
Yeah. Okay. So if this guy is telling people, there was a question that was asked to him by a news crew, like, so why aren't all states have a lockdown order in the United States? And he goes, I really don't think there's any good response to that, why they shouldn't be in a lockdown at this point. And yet still there are some states, governors that refuse to do it because they're so politically ingrained in one direction, you know, and I'm not trying to turn this into politics or anything, but they're getting blasted from just one point of view so much that they can't see another point of view.
Right.
And that's unfortunate, especially because, I mean, that's going to cost people's lives. You know, and then that's the really sad thing about all this. So, Sorry, I totally steered that conversation off a fucking.
No,
cliff,
that's
No, that was right in line with
like,
what I was saying, man. It falls into people just being stupid and not understanding things, but then like betting on faith, right?
Yeah,
Like being
yeah.
faithful in something is not happening, or saying, "Oh, well, maybe it'll work out in the positive." It's like, no, just listen to the experts. Like if this was a military operation,
Yeah.
and some guy that was like, actually, I work at Whole Foods. I'd really like to tell you, General, I have some ideas on how we could accomplish
Yeah.
this mission. The general would look at that guy and be like, "Hey, come here. What's your name? Oh, Arigeth? Okay, cool. How about you shut the fuck up, Arigeth? Just shut your fucking mouth, okay? Go take your dreadlock ass, flip-flop wearing bullshit, and take it home and shut the fuck up and hide. Fuck your flip-flops, Timmy!
Hey, man, there's nothing wrong with flip-flops, okay? There's nothing wrong with them.
Is it on your table or are you getting it from your foot?
I just took it off my foot
Okay.
so
Dude, he's crisscross applesauce.
I could show you.
Q segment,
Shred.
things that I was too much of a pussy to put on Twitter, but I would like to say now. And y'all know that I am not a political person at all. I'm trying to get acclimated with politics. Right. But I have a suggestion. If there's a way that we can just redact our current president and all of the events from all history books that will be printed from here on out, kind of like we did with the moon landing, can we just just remove that and then just make up something that happened in between 2016, 2020, and then we just keep going after that.
We mentioned it before we started. We were talking before we started the podcast, but being a history teacher and this shit going on right now is fascinating to me. However, being a history teacher and this shit going on right now was killing my mental health.
Yes. Yeah. Dude.
Because I was diving way too deep in all the sources and news and all the stuff. I was the last couple, until I got a handle on it. I went just diving in because it was unbelievable. I've never seen anything like this in my life. And this is an event that, it's going to be taught about for a long time.
Black Plague level of fucking documentation.
Like this is going to be a part of human history that's going to be talked about at length, much longer than we have every episode of our own podcast. I mean, so
the thing that we're super lucky about, and like I said, I'm not an expert, but the thing that we're lucky about is that the mortality rate is so low with this sort of with this particular pandemic. If we were at like a 40 or a 50%, and this was our first time to react to this sort of situation, this is how we reacted, we would be completely fucked. So we are lucky that this isn't that 40 or 50%, because just like Jimmy said, like when we're looking back at this in the history books and we're like, oh, you know what? We didn't do anything for the first like 3 or 4 weeks. Maybe we should, and we'll take it seriously this time because, obviously like there's a lot of people dying because of it. Not to like water that down, but if this was a lot more deadly, we would be completely fucked. So we're actually kind of lucky that it isn't that, like it is extreme, but it's not that extreme, right?
Yeah.
Not at that like 40 or 50% mortality rate.
Real quick, can we get, this is for chat participation, can we get a 0 in chat if you believe that the original moon landing was faked?
And God, this is a great time for me to go get another.
Can we get a 1 in chat?
I'm not even gonna be a part of this. I'll be right back.
All right, and can I get a 1 if you think that the original moon landing was real? I'm super interested to find out where people fall on this. It's the only conspiracy theory that we are going to entertain.
I don't know enough about it. I honestly haven't studied it, so I don't know. You know what I mean?
Well, it's hard to study something that didn't happen.
Right. That's so true. That's true. That's definitely
I don't know enough to make an informed decision, so I can't really say one way or the other.
I'm kind of that's kind of how I sit on the fence with everything. Like if I don't know enough about it, I'll usually just kind of like stay out of it. Like for me, politics, they're super uninteresting to me, so I don't really care. There's so much irony in a lot of things that people dedicate their lives to, like politics, that I just find really, really ridiculous. Like if you can't see through your own irony, I just feel like that's I mean, to me, those people just appear to be idiots, right? Like I can't speak to you because you are that dumb of a person where you can complain about one thing, but then do the exact thing on the opposite side.
Yeah.
Nothing specific, obviously, but there's so much. It's so hypocritical on every level that it's just like I can't stand it. I just look at things and I try to be dynamic about things because I had an event like way back where like I got really ingrained into like not dark web shit, but I was like really ingrained in like certain political stuff, and it was always stressing me out and shit like that. And then and I had like a core belief and I really believed in it, and then like actual statistics and facts proved me wrong, and I just sat there and I was like, how did I believe something? And this was when I was younger too, like 16, 17. I was like, how did I believe something so thoroughly? And I was willing to argue with people where like all the information that was coming to me was just bullshit, but like actual statistics proved me wrong. But I literally believed, and I was like willing to fight for the fact that I believed a certain way. Yeah. Right. Like and that scared me. I was like, how could I even get to that point? How could I be that dumb? Right. So I try not to do that now, but like looking at things from different perspectives and, just staying out of it until I know enough to have a certain perspective.
I used to get in heated, angry, and toxic arguments on Facebook about Android versus Apple when I was an Android user. I would specifically go and try and find people that were having conversations about cell phones, and I would go out there and be like, you fucking Apple sheep, you're ruining technology for all of us. These are all the reasons that Android are superior in every way. You guys ever heard of Linux? Anybody Linux? I was that guy. And then one day, an Android phone stole the greatest photo that I have ever taken in my life from me. And I never, I bought an iPhone that day.
What did you mean by stole? It stole it?
So back when I was really dumb, 17, 18 years old, I was on the highway and I started to come around a corner where my exit was getting off. And I got in the lane to get off the exit, and the exit, so all of our highways are sunken into the earth. So they're it's like a divot on both sides, and it's probably a good 30 feet that you're below sea level. Yeah. And as I was coming up to the exit, I could see that the exit ramp went into the sun, and the sun was so bright that it pretty much made the top of the exit opaque. Like it literally looked like the exit was going into the sky. And so quickly I pulled out my phone, and as I'm driving, I took this picture of what it was from within the dashboard. 3 megabyte Android camera. It was a Droid X, a Motorola Droid X. Okay. And so it was like my hand on the steering wheel, took a picture, saw the inside of the dash, and then the exit ramp just went into the sky. And then I took the picture and I looked down. No filter. It was fucking perfect. Amazing picture. And then so I pull up and the light turns red and the car stops, and I look down, and then the screen flashes and it goes back to my home screen, which basically means that the app crashed and the picture did not get saved and it was gone forever.
Why didn't it save a picture that you took? Do you have to save them, take the picture and then save it?
What I thought was the picture was the screen froze when I had hit the shutter button. So I took the picture and then it froze, and then I put it on my lap, and then I looked at it at the stoplight and I saw it. I'm like, oh my God, what an amazing fucking picture. And then when when iPhone apps crash, you just get the flash and you go back to the home screen. Yeah. Same thing. And then the picture was gone forever. And then that day,
that was your claim to fame right there. That could have been $1 million picture. Do you know how many people would have published a off ramp going into the sun?
And I probably would have kept the picture, posted it to Instagram, got 4 likes, and then I probably would have been an Android pleb for the next decade.
It would have gotten stolen and then printed on a t-shirt.
Yeah, exactly. So don't take pictures and drive. Obviously, this was a very, very long time ago. This is probably 9 years ago when I was much dumber and younger. But yeah, that was
to switch an Android user over is just to have some malfunction. You guys are soft as shit, boy.
I was one of those assholes that rooted their phone and put on a consumer created operating system onto it. I would flash it and bootload. And I just made it so fucking unstable. And then once I lost that one picture, that was the end of it for me. And then I've been an Apple sheep ever since.
Yeah. I think that when people are like critically like super hyper focused on one certain thing and they're like willing to die for that idea and then they get proven wrong, I feel like as a society we should all take those people and put them in a circle and just be like, we'll film them and throw eggs and tomatoes and shit at them. Just be like, you guys are fucking idiots.
And baloney.
Yeah, so then you don't choose to like side with one thing or the other unless you're like absolutely certain. And if you end up being wrong about that certainty, then you get embarrassed, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Have you ever got slapped in the face with lunch meat?
No, I haven't.
It's not weird? Great. It's a little weird. It's a little demeaning. But then you can
slap before. It feels bad. Like you just feel like, ugh.
I warned Weenie. I'm like, if you ever hate me so much, kick me in the balls. Do not slap me in the face because I turn into an evil person. When right. I've gotten slapped in the face. It doesn't
knock you out. It doesn't it just pisses you off.
Yeah.
Right? But it hurts. Yeah.
It hurt. It stings. You feel deleted. Like somebody just clicked on you and then just deleted you. And like I said, I've gotten slapped in the face by friends before, whether it was a joke or not. And there is just a switch that gets flipped that does not get flipped at any other point in my life. But getting slapped is, which is why I would really love to backhand somebody in the face, like soon.
Well, really soon. Slapping isn't like slapping can be, and I don't know if this is still a thing, so don't take this officially. But I think back in the past, you were allowed to slap someone without it being an assault because it was a sign of discontent. Like this is an old thing. So like
you can spit on somebody and that's assault now.
Yeah, you can spit. You can even text them and they can fucking sue you. So,
yeah,
yeah. Don't do that. Don't take my word for it. Don't start slapping people. Yeah.
There was one time where we were at my friend's apartment, and this is the only time that I've willingly gotten slapped. We were again much younger, much dumber. We were at my friend's apartment, sitting on the couch, and we were watching TV. This is how old it was. All watching television, whether we were watching fucking Empire Strikes Back on some random cable channel or something, and a commercial comes on, and then like a quick like news segment. We're like, tonight at 7, we're going to be talking about blah 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 blah, and the segment ended, and somebody was like, "Wow, that was dumb," and I said, "Yeah, that's why we shouldn't let gingers tell the news." And my friend, who was a hardcore ginger, that was that was getting slapped in the face to him. He hates it so fucking much. And I had only known him for a couple months at this point. I didn't really know the guy. And as soon as I said the word ginger, everybody in the world or everybody in the room went, just like they knew I was about to get the shit knocked out of me. And he was nice. He was like, listen, man, I don't really, allow that kind of talk around here. You have to let me slap you in the face if I'm not going to beat your ass. And so I stood there and he decked me, dude. He slapped me so fucking hard across the face. I was knocked to Mars. Like I got the shit knocked out of me. And then we were square after that. And now he's like one of my best friends now. But that was like the only time that I've willingly allowed somebody to slap me.
Wow, what a heartwarming story. Wow, what a heartwarming tale.
You like that?
My best buddy just slapped the shit out of me.
I mean, I deserved it, right? Like that was
claimed you, dude. That was a claim. I was
a fucking blonde mohawk emo punk fucking kid.
You probably deserved way more slaps in the face than you actually received. So
probably.
I know I probably did too.
Yeah.
So
same.
I wish that I had some people from my previous life that could vouch for how nice of a guy I am, but I really have nobody to vouch for me because I've killed them all.
Exactly. How do you feel about this? Something that used to really piss me off, and it was like totally accepted and normal in my high school days, was that girls would like pinch guys. I fucking hate it when people pinch me.
Right here.
Like it is like it's the worst thing ever. Like there's nothing worse than getting pinched, right? Like I would rather legitimately be punched in the face than get pinched. Like 100%.
Yeah.
I hate when people pinch me. It drives me fucking crazy.
It was Indian burns. Wait, can we say that? Oh my God. Native crisscross applesauce burns. I'm sorry.
Get him out of here,
dude. I did the same thing. I was doing I was doing last summer a camp, a soccer camp for like 4th through 6th grade kids. And I was getting them around at the end and I was like, all right, everybody, you guys have a seat. You just sit down Indian style. And then I was like, oh shit. I mean,
No, I didn't mean.
Let's come
But
on,
it's
little
like-
guys. Let's sit down
it's
for a powwow real quick. And then you're like, oh,
it's
fuck
ingrained
me.
in your brain from when you were a kid. That's just what it was called, you know. And I caught myself like, I'm sorry, crisscross applesauce. The other coach there looked at me and I was like, shit, man.
Can we not
Sorry.
say powwow either?
No, apparently it's cultural appropriation. But you
Shit.
can have a casino. You can have a casino on the other side of the world, and that's not cultural appropriation. So
I also
Irony.
still say gypped. Like I feel gypped. I have a problem curating that out of my vocabulary.
Yeah.
I
What's
say it
wrong with
without
What's wrong with that one?
gypsies.
Is
I'm
that
I'm
what-
actually
Is
Defense-
that the
Hungarian, man.
etymology for gypped? Is
Yeah,
gypsy off
yeah.
the gypsies?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got scammed, man.
Yeah.
You got scammed.
I had
I'm a
no
gypsy.
idea.
I'm a gypsy. I'm
But see, I
Hungarian,
thought it
so
was
can
spelled
speak
with a
on-
J. So that's why I like.
No,
like
that's
Oh.
that you're thinking
It's
of
jiffy
gypsies.
popcorn.
We're talking about gypsies. You're thinking of gypsies.
Yeah, we're the gypsies.
More gypsies
Oh,
going for a
shit.
yard.
What about the gypsies? I used to have a buddy that would like just as like not a demeaning term, but he would say like gypsies. He'd talk about people and say gypsies. And my family's Hungarian, which is kind of like gypsies. We all identify as gypsies.
Yeah.
I don't really care. But
I mean, with that hat, you're halfway there, dude.
Yeah.
You're halfway
Yeah,
there.
you really are.
if you ask Casey, like I collect all these little fucking like all of her hair bands and her hair clips. and
You
stuff.
just need like a big fucking hoop earring and maybe a nose ring, and then I think
Yeah.
we could complete
I'm
the
there.
ensemble.
There.
Some all natural deodorant that doesn't actually do anything.
Some type of tattoo coming up his neck.
Like an octopus.
and a gold tooth.
Yes,
Oh my
yes, absolutely.
God, man.
By the way, the case that's in the background, which I don't ever think has been there before. What case is that?
So this is the Air 240 Corsair case. So it used to
okay.
be on my shelf right here. But recently, my water cooling pump freaked out, and it just was like, and was like making all those sounds. I was like,
How
what
did it
the
go?
fuck is that? It was like. So for anyone that doesn't know, I have a custom water cooling loop that I built, and I had this pump for like a year and a half. And
I'm
when
sorry,
you have a
but
custom,
when you reach out to grab that because of the camera effect,
it looks like my arms
your
super
arms
long.
are like 20 feet long.
Yeah, that's
I'm
the nice
sorry,
little.
This is making me
Can you
laugh.
wave it in the air like way back there?
Maybe my arms are just long, dude.
Do you have?
Maybe.
Can you stand up for us? Show us your dick, but also show you how long
Yeah, do you
your
want to
arms
see
are.
my penis? Is
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
hardest
Do you want
I've
me to
laughed in
compare my
like 2
penis
weeks. No, you're good. Go
Okay.
ahead. Sorry. Sorry.
So I have a custom loop, and when you have a custom loop for water cooling, you have a bunch of tubes and bullshit, and then it connects to all the devices. But you have like a pump that's separate from your reservoir. So the reservoir is where all the liquid is. It feeds into the pump, and then the pump pushes it through the system. If the pump fails, it can literally kill your entire computer because then no water's moving, so everything overheats and dies. So when my pump failed, luckily it made a really loud noise, and it was like there's like a spinning thing inside of it, and it ultimately was scraping, and there's metal everywhere.
What was that sound like?
So when that happened, I had to pull everything apart. So now it's kind of on my computer's on timeout now. It's on a shelf where I can see it. So if it starts leaking, I can like turn it off.
Oh, okay.
So that's why that's all there right now. It was a long story for a short turnout.
Yeah, you've never done that before, ever.
No,
in
no,
the
I
history
never.
of you on this podcast, you've never had a really, really long,
Short-term.
dedicated story to describe something that was a simple fucking question. I mean, that's all
I will
Dude,
say-
it's all about the show, man. It's all about the show.
I think Bishop has gotten really, really good about tapering his his rants or like your trail offs.
He has.
Yeah.
That's not the argument though, but even though he's gotten great at tapering those off and doing that, they're still going to happen. And usually off a simple question, but that's okay.
Yeah.
That's
It's
part of the
funny
fun.
because this podcast specifically is one of the things that has helped me like find a way to like keep things short and simple. So it's not just
Really?
like this super long tangent. Yeah. So I actually really enjoy doing it because it helps me get better at that certain
So you
trait.
get all
But-
your long answers out of the way when you're on the podcast. So like in IRO, when you're not podcasting, you
No,
have
no,
short,
you should
simple
ask me,
answers.
man. Whew, I talk for fucking weeks about the same subject. Like I'll hyper focus on something, literally fixate for hours on one thing. Like I'll be like, oh, so I was thinking, like I just built a new raid PC, and I was talking to her like, yeah, I was thinking about like raid 0 versus raid 3, and when you do this and this, and she's just like sitting there like she's heard about it for like the past like 3 or 4 days. So I've been trying to like be more concise about how I communicate, because otherwise I just go on crazy tangents, and
Gotcha.
it just doesn't end. And I'm doing it now. It just doesn't end.
Yeah, no, that's why we're both doing this. So, do we have a segue into like talking points? Did you have something?
I literally wrote nothing on the script. That's how fucking good we are at podcasting. We've just been going.
So I got something I want to bring up
real quick
because go.
So the only thing that I want to say in regards to Bishop's...
real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jimmy, you had a point if you want to go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Jimmy?
no,
thank you. Thank you. All right, you can hold on for a second. No, I'm just kidding.
Bishop, you were going to say...
Yeah, I was going to just lead into...
But can I just say...
You were about to have?
Yeah,
you go ahead right now.
Oh, no, you go.
You go?
Okay.
Did you go?
Woo! Woo! You guys remember our animal noises? You guys forget that already?
Oh.
Yeah. Anyways, in regards to Bishop saying how the podcast has kind of helped him, if you go back, which I'm in the process of re-uploading every single Crocs podcast to a separate YouTube channel, because all the podcasts and the highlights are going to be going to a different YouTube channel now. And watching me introduce the podcast on the very first episode is just like, God, stop talking, dude. It's gross. And being on the podcast and doing this often and putting myself in situations where I talk to people for 2 hours straight that I've never talked to before, it really trains you on how to talk to people better and how to conversate instead of just talking.
Right.
So if there's anybody out there who you're maybe looking for a way to improve your speaking skills, start a podcast, fuck it up for like 2 years, and then completely flip it into a new direction, and then just don't write any scripts. Just go live and then try to find stuff to talk about. And I can speak from experience that you'll get pretty good at pulling shit out of thin air. Like Bishop's arms.
Yes. So my question was this. We haven't been together on this podcast for 3 months now. So this is kind of a easy starter question that I'm sure will fucking implode with all kinds of other stuff. But who have you been watching on Twitch? So like Naaackers, you were always a guy I would spend time watching. And you haven't been streaming. But I know you didn't just stop watching Twitch.
Right. He'll replace me.
And then like same with you, Bish. You haven't been streaming a lot lately. Who have you been watching? I want to know who you guys have been watching on Twitch, what you've been watching on Twitch, and then I'll share what I've been watching on Twitch for the last few months. Ready, go.
Bishop?
Naaackers?
But do you want to go, Bishop?
Let's. I would just like to start by deferring this. To
before
Naaackers.
you start, can I just throw it your way and you can let?
I would really love to take this from here and then just pass it right on back to you.
Before you pass it to me, can I throw it your way and you just kind of spin and?
I would really love to take.
Okay, I tell you what.
Really work.
Do you want me to go first? Should I go first?
Go first. Yeah.
I was gonna save me for last.
Before you go, Jimmy, can I just? Okay, I'm done.
So I'm just gonna take the reins on this and just go ahead here and say that I've been I haven't been watching a ton of Twitch. I've been diving into other sorts of content. One thing that I actually got interested in for a few days. I'm really hyper focused on stuff for like short terms, like a few days.
You've been watching more Mixer? Is that what you're about to tell us?
No, I haven't. I know Casey's been watching some D Live, but I'll leave that up to her.
Still funny.
But,
I'm sorry, Mixer. I'm sorry.
No, I haven't watched any Mixer, but I've been watching kind of stuff just sporadically. I've been more focused on just YouTube content every now and then, and just finding stuff that I find interesting. So I've been hopping around. It hasn't been anything specific. No channel that I go back to every single day. Jimmy, I've seen a few of your streams. I've been watching recently on YouTube this guy that is a white guy out of New York that speaks perfect Chinese. So he goes up to like Chinese restaurants and he talks to people.
I've been watching those.
Yeah, have you really?
Yeah,
they're fantastic. So I've been having a really good time watching those. It's really interesting to me. It's just it's interesting how like separate the culture is, but when he levels the playing field by speaking perfect Chinese, they really open up to him. So it makes me really want to learn a new language.
The food too,
other than English,
like all the food that he's. Oh my god.
Yeah. So that's been really interesting to me. As far as streams are concerned, more esports oriented stuff. Like whenever there's an event, I'll kind of pop in here and there. I watch. There's this guy Peekaboo he does like a PvP and WoW. I watch him quite a bit, but besides that, just kind of sporadically hopping through channels. Nothing too specific.
Okay. Cool. Naaackers?
I'm trying to think of
Amaranth. That's her name.
What I mean, out of all the names on Twitch, I have the hardest time saying that one. It's such a weird name to mouth. Amaranth. It's like saying
Amaranth.
Gifts.
Gifts.
As in, like, I'm giving you a present.
Gifts. Yeah. Gifts. Like underneath the Christmas tree. What are there?
But say gifts with a T in it.
Gifts. Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Gifts.
See?
I think the T's silent.
It is silent. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I have been watching a shit ton of Cheese Snaps. That is who, like, in that video I talked about, like, when you find a streamer and then you go super hard into all of their content. Weenie and I both love Cheese Snaps content. That's usually what we would watch when I come home from work, because I would come home, I would cook, and then by the time we sat down, Snaps would just be kind of winding down with her stream. And it's either just like she's doing her shades check-in with her community, or they're doing meditation, or just kind of talking. And Weenie and I both really value her content, so we watch a shit ton of that. I've been kind of like really bouncing around. A lot of it has been lurking. Jimmy, I've obviously been watching you because you've been going ham now that you have a little bit more free time.
Wait, Jimmy streams?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I
Good
thought he was
amount
just
now.
the resident old guy in here.
Wait, how old are you, Bish?
I'm 26, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I turned 27 this year.
It's so weird to think that you're older than I am, or younger than I am.
Am I older than you?
No. I'm coming up on 30.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So as far as, and here's the thing too, is like I've been so focused on working on my own content that I haven't been watching a whole lot of streams.
Yeah.
And that's you kind of get to that point where you want to support your friends and you want to watch things, but when I'm constantly working on audio and video, I can't just have a stream or YouTube content really low audio wise. I need to be able to hear everything that is going on. And so I've been kind of just like bouncing around, a lot of audiobooks, a lot of She Snaps. I kind of bounce around on like random YouTube shit. There's the primitive technology, those people in the jungles that just like build villages out of sand and bamboo and shit like that. There is another channel I just found. He does restorations. So he'll find like a World War II lighter from 1940 and then restore it and make it working again. No music, no voiceover. It's just 20 minutes of restoration of old shit. And it's the coolest stuff ever.
I've been watching a lot of Linus Tech Tips. That came into my mind because you were talking about like restoring and building stuff. And that was what I was getting super interested in. I can't remember off of the top of my head. It's so weird.
Bravo to Linus, because they just got like 100 3D printers and they've just been printing masks and shit for people, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. Which
that is so cool.
Touching on COVID again real quick, seeing people come together for this kind of stuff is the uplifting part of all of this.
Yeah.
There's been so many cool stories I've read in these last couple of weeks about companies and people doing so many amazing things as a way to reach out and help others. And it further cements my belief in the fact that the human spirit is super strong, man. And that there's way more good out there than there is bad. If there's one thing, and I know every day is going to be different for everybody, and there's going to be a lot of this over the next couple weeks and months. You know, everyone's going to have really good days, and they're going to have some bad days. But the humanity is coming to fight this thing, and it's not going to beat us. It's not going to beat us. It's just gonna set us back a bit, you know. But at the same time, it's gonna set us back. But I think it's gonna change things when it's all said and done. When all this is over, when we get to hang out and do things together again. When it's all said and done, I really, truly believe that we're gonna be better off down the road as a result.
Yeah. We will not go quietly into the night.
That's right, baby.
Hey, cheers!
Right.
Cheers to everybody here. Cheers to my homeboys here for the podcast. Is that you got fucking lychee in your glass there, Bishy?
No, it's a London Mule.
Little ginger beer, little mule.
I know this off of the top of my head. This is a London Mule gin plus ginger raspberry soda that Casey made me.
Oh my god!
Get yourself a Rebel Ruby.
Get yourself a fucking Casey in your life. Fucking seriously.
Fantastic. Dude, she works way too hard, man. When I first so I just started a new job with this company called UMG, and we do a lot of esports broadcasting, a lot of ladders, tournaments, stuff like that within gaming. I started and when we had the collegiate clash for Overwatch and for Rocket League, so we had two big projects coming up. So I literally for like 3 weeks, the past like 3 weeks to a month, I've been just doing like 24-hour days, just literally getting as many of these graphics and these deliverables done. So I didn't even have to focus too much on all of the COVID shit, but she was like going out to the stores and making sure we were all stocked up on groceries and stuff. So she's been a real badass this past month.
This is gonna,
and then more beyond that, of course, not just the month.
Jimmy, you need to go into your point of who you've been watching on Twitch, but really quick, I need to step over a line. I need to be extremely inappropriate and say, "You better be eating that pussy daily." Because of how that woman treats you, okay? And that's all I need to say. Jimmy, I'd love to know what kind of Twitch streams you've been watching lately.
Yeah, no, from that, please tell us what you've been watching. Hopefully not related.
Fair enough. That'll be clip worthy that you can play back at some point.
Yeah.
So I've been watching all the same streamers I usually watch. I've had more time now that I've been working from home, which has been really cool because one of the benefits of working from home is I'm not live teaching classes all day. Like I record a lot of my stuff. So while I'm working on recording or researching how I'm going to teach my lessons, I'll have a stream up, which I could never do at work because I'm teaching classes all day. So like I'll have a stream up and I get to hang out with people I don't get to normally hang out with because they're streaming when I'm working. And a lot of these people that I've been following for a long time, you know, so I've had a lot of those of people that I get to, even if I'm just lurking. I'll comment here and there in their channel, but I'm lurking most of the time. But I've now that I've become a no cam streamer. I've kind of been looking for some other channels. One of my favorites I was introduced to by I Am Space Shark, who I know a lot of you guys know in the Twitch community. Great streamer awesome. and a friend of mine. I found a streamer named Avenus, who is in Europe, and she's basically like some retro stuff, some new stuff, but a lot of platformers. And she's a no cam streamer also, and it's just voice. She doesn't even have an avatar or anything. And so I've been watching a lot of her, and it's been kind of inspiring to me because I think. Here's the reality of not streaming with a cam. I think so many people stream with a cam. The ones that don't, and this isn't the majority, I'm just of those. There's a lot of great no cam streamers out there. But I think the majority of people who don't stream with a cam probably don't take it that seriously because a lot of times they're just playing games and, you know, the majority. I'm not saying all. And so it's kind of cool to see a very well put together stream with great audio, great conversation. Yeah, it's cool. And all the other usual ones I watch, like Late Night Retro, he's a no cam streamer.
Right.
I'm not trying to be on like, no streams need a cam. I mean, I made the switch a few months back because for my own mental health reasons. And it's been great, man. Like I haven't. I thought there was, I don't know why it took me so long to do this, because I think in the back of my mind, maybe I think there was going to be a lot of pushback against it, but it's really been the opposite. So it's been good, man. It's been really good. So I found a lot of cool streamers to watch. I've been watching a lot of She Snaps. I was introduced to that by Naaackers, and I've had a lot of great stuff from her stream lately. She's a fantastic when it comes to mental health stuff. I'm not saying she's a substitute for a psychiatrist, not what I'm saying. But she's certainly I've been in a lot of her streams. A lot of times I lurk, but a lot of times I'll go watch her streams. Casey's been streaming a lot. I've been able to hang out with Casey a lot. Conbot, 79, who I actually DM'd him a couple, like maybe a month ago. I had to DM him because he was doing some cool stuff. He does some cool stuff on his stream, and so I had to ask him how he was doing some stuff because I wanted to steal it. Of course, that's what streamers do, right? They steal from each other, and he hooked me up with some information and helped me out. So yeah, man. I mean, I've had a lot of cool new streamers, some new streamers or streamers I hadn't watched a lot of content till relatively recently, and then my usual. So I've been watching a lot of Twitch. It's been inspiring to me to have more time to watch Twitch because then it makes me want to improve my own content.
Yes.
Twitch.
Yeah. It's to go to your point with like no cam streaming, right? If you want to find one really good guy that I watch quite a bit is Robbaz, Robbaz, and every game that he plays, like they're all simulation type games, he just makes them so funny. And I've talked about him on previous streams, but somehow he just takes games and he makes them hilarious, right? They're just always funny. The thing that I will say about like no cam streaming and just Twitch in general is that Twitch, the discoverability on Twitch is so bad. So like finding streams is super, super complicated. And when people that aren't, natural to your stream, like people that don't watch your stream every day or haven't found you through hosts or whatever, if they're looking for a new stream to watch just through the Discover tab, it's very unlikely that they click on your stream if you don't have a cam, unless you're playing something that doesn't have a lot of other streamers, right? That's just the reality behind it. Mm-hmm. So if you have a community and you're able to source a community from like Twitter or Instagram, it does work. But I think for a lot of streamers, like a lot of there's a lot of streamers that are starting out that they're setting out their different things that they need to buy. Having a cam is important, right? Like have a camera. You can do streams like once a week with the camera. Even that is like great, right? You can turn on, like I know you, Jimmy, you turn on your camera every now and then just to have that personal element. But you don't have to stream all the time, like with a cam, right? Like you don't always have to have your camera on. And I've even had it just like, and you're talking about your mental health, like sitting and having people watch you constantly is dreadful, right? Like it sucks. Like it's not great. Or if you like fail or you make a mistake, you're just sitting there embarrassed. So I totally understand that. Something like I don't like eating on stream. There's a lot of stuff that I try to avoid, but in most cases, like having a camera isn't necessarily a bad thing, but don't lean on it, right? Like you don't need to have it on constantly. You can turn it off and people aren't going to take off, right? Like people aren't just there to stare at your face. Like sometimes they're interested in watching the gameplay every now and then. So once you establish yourself, people, especially with your community, once you establish yourself with your community, people come back even if you have your cam off, right?
Yeah. Well, and for me, it really just kind of came down to when I started streaming, the first streams that I ever watched on Twitch were people that had webcams. Like that was the norm, like people that had a camera, and then so I started streaming with a cam. I never didn't use a cam really. And then I started months back, I just started having these feelings, and I had these feelings in the past. It was like this uncomfortable feeling of being in a camera all the time while I was focused on a game. And I just figured it was a feeling that would just kind of fade away over time, and it didn't. Right. It really didn't. And then I just thought, you know what? Maybe I should just try without a cam and see how that feels. Right. And I did, and it was good. And then now with the use of technology and an avatar, I can do some fun things that I couldn't do before. Right. And so it introduces new elements of things that I couldn't, because it's basically like using a green screen again. You know what I mean? So with this character avatar on Face Rig. So I've created all kinds of different scenes and just, stuff to kind of experiment with the things that you can do that are fun with not having a face cam. So I'm trying to balance it out. Yeah. But that's been that's something that I put in this for myself that I haven't had a chance to really talk to you guys about yet, because we haven't podcasted since I made all these changes.
Naaackers screwed us all over, by disappearing.
I mean, I hadn't had a chance to tell any of you guys about why I'd done that.
Not podcasting has been so fucking difficult. Like the last time that I took a break from streaming, when I did my 5-week break last year in January, I still podcasted every single week. Right. Not podcasting, that was a really difficult decision to make. But I knew that it had to be done if I wanted to set new routines for myself. How do you feel being on camera for the podcast, Jimmy? I should have asked you this before we were live.
If I had a problem with it, I would have said something.
Okay.
It's not,
I knew
I'm
that
not
much.
streaming. I'm podcasting. It's
right.
totally different.
It's different because you're looking directly at someone.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I'm not even paying that much attention to chat. I'm really just paying attention to you guys. So it's not the same.
Everybody look at the camera lens for 5 seconds. Thank you.
Jimmy and I were doing the exact same face.
2 things that I wanted to touch on regarding that. Do either of you follow Alpha Gaming on YouTube or Harris Heller on Twitch or Twitter?
I've seen both of them on YouTube. So like both of their YouTube channels directed me back to their streams. But in most cases, I know that they both do like tutorial videos for streamers.
Yeah, tutorial, tech, stream education, that kind of thing. He put out a clip on Twitter a couple of weeks back that just kind of outlined webcam streamers, right? And he said, there's absolutely no reason why you can't have a webcam when you are streaming. But the chances of you finding success, if you're brand new, if you are a brand new streamer, the chances of you finding success and viewers are they're so much smaller than they were if you did, because there's just certain physiological elements of seeing a person, of making eye contact, of expression, of emotion. There's just things that you cannot get when you do not have a webcam. People are logging onto Twitch, a lot of them, because they are looking for some sort of friendship or some sort of relationship. They are looking to make a connection with somebody. And it's a lot harder if you don't have a webcam. That's not to say that you have to have a webcam, but as a brand new person who is coming to Twitch and you're trying to get your shit going in streaming, you're gonna hurt your chances. And that's why, Jimmy, like you said, when you got started, everybody had a webcam. So I thought, well, if I want to have the best chances possible, I also would like to have a webcam. So it's all of those things that you just kind of have to take into consideration when you're making a decision like that.
Yeah, well, I think that there's also the piece that I was mentioning earlier. Twitch isn't a place like that. That's the interpretation, right? Like you're going to come to Twitch and you're going to try to build your channel. So not having a webcam is going to hurt you, right? That is true. But you also shouldn't be basing your growth off of Twitch alone, right?
Correct.
Like you should be leveraging other platforms just in general. Because I've seen a lot of successful people like build channels recently that have literally just used Twitter, right? And they post pictures of themselves on Twitter, and then you go to their channel on Twitch and they don't have any webcam. It's just gameplay. And they're extremely successful, right? So it's just dependent on how you're leveraging, like what other sorts of content you're putting out on these other platforms that will drive people back to your channel. That's the fastest and easiest way to grow, right? So if you're basing it off of having a webcam or not, like there's a lot of people that have webcams that also have been sitting at one viewer for the past 2 years. Like webcams don't give you that. But when you eventually get to the level where you have 5-10 viewers and you're finally showing up higher and higher on the hierarchy on Twitch's side, that might be when someone clicks on you. Right.
Yep. And like you did, Jimmy, you didn't just remove the webcam. You fucking Indiana Jones'd it with something supplementary, which if you're not going to have a webcam, you don't have to have one. But if you have a show where instead of having a webcam, you have like this infinite number of original artwork of scenes and audio and video, and you make a production out of your channel, it's gonna be a lot more easier for people to, like maybe when your thumbnail gets captured by the Twitch following page, it captures something that isn't gameplay and isn't a webcam. And when people see something different, they're like, oh, like what the fuck is going on here? And they're more inclined to jump in.
Why is there a fucking beer with a wig on with a gavel in a courtroom right now?
Exactly.
That doesn't make any sense.
And the problem comes in where, and we've talked about this so much, the chances of you starting streaming now and all you're doing is just streaming video games and you don't have a webcam, 0.0001% chance.
If I was starting out again, like it wouldn't even be a question in my mind. But after years of being on Twitch and after years of watching other Twitch streams and realizing some of my favorite streams on the platform have no webcams.
Right.
And so I've really tried to figure out why is it that I like those types of streams and how can I make my stream like that, because I'm just not a webcam streamer anymore, man. I just don't think I am. So
yeah, and I like what you're doing where you swap back to like show yourself every now and then. Like, and this is when, I don't know if you still do this, but when you were first starting to transition to not using your camera as often, you would swap to a scene just to say like cheers or whatever, just to, have like some sort of personal element. I still think that that's the way to go, right? Like, I still think that having some sort of interaction that people can see you, that's the way to go to some certain extent. But I think that a lot of people believe that having like a great webcam, and I'm speaking from experience, having a great webcam is the only way to grow on Twitch, or like not the only way, but is a way to grow on Twitch, and people will click on your channel because you have a great webcam. This is sort of true, but it's not. When people come into your channel, like Casey was talking about this yesterday, I overheard her talking to Conbot about this, but it's like people come in and they're like, wow, your production quality is insane. This is amazing, right? They're like, you should be a partner. How do you not have more viewers? And then that person leaves your stream and you don't see them ever. This all the time. Happens to me hundreds of times. It's happened to Casey. You always get these people hosting, wow, look at your quality. Wow, this is amazing. And then you never see them ever again. And it's because like they're super interested in the camera quality, but and I'm not saying that I don't do this or anyone else doesn't do this, but if your content isn't super interesting, then they might not hang out. So like that hook, when you're not a webcam streamer, is your personality, right? Like that's what's interesting for your gameplay. But I think that, go ahead.
Sorry. You did good.
I was just going to say, I think that
sorry.
Yeah, if you can just interject. I think just having like one, like a few frames where you show your face is like, that's the ultimate way to do it. Cause I get that same feeling of getting stressed out when people are looking at me constantly.
Yeah. See, I don't have that at all, which is, because I like being different from you guys. I like having differing opinions and perspectives, but I feel I've never had a no cam stream. In the 7 years that I have streamed, I have never had a no cam stream. There's been times where I've done less cam or like a black and white cam or something. Okay, I take that back. VR streams. No webcam, because
that's a little different. Obviously.
It is. I don't understand why people have a webcam on themselves during VR streams, but that's just a personal preference. That's just me. It makes for a lot of funny moments, and when something funny happens in real life, the camera is there to capture it. But I feel like it totally takes away from the immersion of VR, and that's just my personal preference. No right or wrong. But yeah, it's a super interesting point. I think that having a webcam on Twitch is the equivalent of thumbnails on YouTube and titles on YouTube. There are people who have the millions of subscribers already, who get hundreds of thousands of views, that can upload a video with a fucking black thumbnail with a gnome in the bottom left corner and an exclamation point for a title. And they will get millions of hits no matter what. But that's because they've already built up that reputation in order to do that. And they're, having a webcam nowadays in 2020 is kind of just one of those things that you might have to do just to have a fighting chance in all of this. But like Bishop was mentioning earlier, there are other ways that you can get eyes on your content too. And another big reason why I'm kind of shifting away from streaming 20 to 30 hours a week. I'm going to maybe try and stream 15 hours a week. Put more time into offline content, put some time into YouTube, into Instagram, original content that isn't happening live, just to kind of maybe get some more eyes on the live content. And that's like a whole nother conversation. But it's an important one, and it's something that every new streamer has to take into consideration when they're starting this path.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think having just something else, like it also for me, like I really leveraged when I first started streaming, I was really like leaning on the fact that I had all of this crazy production equipment. And I think it really drew away from like my focus on other things. So I'm
see that.
interested in like in the time that I eventually come back to streaming. I'm on a even longer. Naaackers had some pussy shit short-term break. I've been gone for like 3 times that. That's nothing, man. But I think as soon as I return, I'll eventually, like, I want to bring in some more integration and things that are more fun. Because like you were talking about it yesterday on your first video back or your first stream back, they're like, you don't know what type of streamer you want to be. And gameplay is one thing, but like, I don't want to be like a competitive gamer, like I think my time for that is gone. I've really sweat my ass off in so many games, and it's just so stressful and uninteresting to me. And like, I really love sim games. So
Does that bum you out?
No, fuck no. I was so good, dude. I'm good, man. I did my time, like
It bums me out.
Yeah, there'll be a game that I mean, I still sweat in certain games, but the problem is that I was trying to be too good at too many games, and then I was just frustrated instead of actually enjoying those games, right? And I'm super analytical when it comes to playing games, so I don't like, I have a good time in the learning phase, and then after that, it's just like min-maxing and trying to be great at something, right? Which is just tough because like there's certain people that like playing games like that, and there's some people that don't. But for me, I'm at the point now where I'm just like, you know what? I want to do things that are more fun. Like I want to find ways to integrate chat functions and control into playing the game, right? Or host like a mock racing series where each car in the series is named after someone in chat or something like that. And
like
Jimmy's really Jimmy's been doing this for a long time with XCOM. I mean, XCOM is a great example of integrating chat into your game. So yeah. Do you guys have any other topics, or do you want me to shoot one out?
I got a bunch of topics.
Okay.
So if you want to, if you didn't write anything in the script because you're fucking Harold the Gypsy with the half fucking beanie on your ears.
What?
So,
I
Paragon?
have one good one. I have one good one.
Okay, let's hear it.
So, speaking of sim games, and this is a good little segue because I've been super interested in like simulation games, and this is like anything like managed, like Civilization. I would consider a sim game, like RTS games. There's one of the greatest games of all time is called Mountain Blade, right?
Oh yeah, they just had the sequel came out. I have a few in my community have been ranting and raving about it.
So it's this game ultimately where you control your legacy as a little peon in a kingdom back in the medieval times, and you can build up your party and create a military, and eventually take over a castle or a town, and then eventually have your own kingdom. So it's a simulator where you get you basically you build up whatever you want as far as your kingdom's concerned. When the first one came out, I used to play this. It was so much. It's one of those games that you find out about it, you play it for like 9 hours on the weekend, all in one session. You're like, wow, that was amazing. But the first one that came out, people were still playing it to this day. And then I think like 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 years ago, they announced that this new version of the game is coming out. And they were showing a bunch of teasers, and they delayed it for years and years. And all of a sudden, I think it was last Thursday, they were just like, oh, hey, by the way, the early access is out on Steam. Nothing else. They're just like, oh, hey, this game's available after like us waiting for 8 years, right? We've been sitting around waiting for this shit to come out, and they had no fucking email, nothing. It was just like, oh, hey, this is also now available on Steam. And it's kind of like this, obviously we're all in our weird worlds right now where we're sitting at home and things like the passage of time is very strange. But it was something that I like looked at my email and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is amazing. Like, what is happening? So that just dropped, and they just threw it. They just were like, oh yeah, hey, this shit's out now. Like, thanks for waiting 8 years. And some of the top comments in like the release video are like, F to all the people that died waiting for this because we've been waiting so long.
Damn.
But it's a really good game. So if anyone's interested in trying something out, Mountain Blade Warband.
So they didn't. I just saw chat. Paul just mentioned they No Man's Skied it. They didn't No Man's Sky the game. It's actually a pretty good release, right?
Yeah.
Or is he talking about the second release of No Man's Sky, where they're just like, oh, by the way, we fixed everything?
Yeah. They developed it to a point where it was really good. And I don't know how long it's been good, but then they just kind of like put it out. And they're like, hey, everyone, you can now play it. And I don't know why they did it, but it's like, I'm like, holy fuck. Like, I completely forgot that this thing was in development. Like, every few months I'll look back and be like, man, I really want this kind of game to jump into. And they finally released it. It's just I think everyone's kind of baffled. They don't think it's real. Like they're looking for problems. They're
Yep.
like, why the fuck did you guys release this earlier? But it's really solid. The storyline's
Good.
not there yet. But everything else is like, it's fantastic. So I might come back and stream that. We'll see.
Good. I'd like to see that, dude. I would. I might watch you as long as you're not wearing that fucking hat. We'll see.
Yeah, I'll take it off. I don't know if it's all.
Look at that hair.
While I was kind of writing the script for that, my coming back to stream. Oh, that's right. You got a fucking shaved head now, dude.
Nice.
Yeah.
It looks
You joined
good.
the military again?
Yeah, dude. No, dude, it's because I can't get a haircut. So I just gave my clippers to my wife.
Oh my
I
god.
just said, here you go, honey. Just fucking shave it off.
Hey, you know what? Not a
And-
bad idea though, man.
I don't care, man. It grows. My hair grows fast.
Same.
So-
Yep.
It's all good.
I don't remember what I was saying.
I don't either. I don't care, actually.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Chad, does anyone remember what I had started to say? I feel like it was about
Sorry.
it was about
I
me
had another
writing a
topic, too,
script.
but I forgot.
What were you just talking about, Bishop?
I was just talking about Mountain Blade coming out. So Mountain Blade dropped. It had come out. It was a great game. Jimmy, prior to that, was saying that you had written nothing in the script.
No,
so didn't have it.
you
Oh,
wrote
me
nothing in the
specifically.
script.
I
You
always
did.
I write stuff all the time. I completely
You
forgot
wrote
this time.
nothing on talking points. I had all these fucking talking points. that
Hey,
I
wait,
wrote
no,
down.
there is something underneath my name. Do you want to read that one out? There's a few under there.
No, I wrote in some talking points for you,
Yeah,
Like-
yeah. What are those?
like where you are and where we can find you online.
Okay, what was the other one?
I wrote Bishop. I wrote Bishop GP was Bish69 on hotfarmers.com because there was nothing written there, so I figured I'd fill it in for you.
Yeah. No, that's always a great topic. Hotfarmers.com, one of the greatest websites of all time. Just
It's-
a bunch of
it's
hot
true.
farmers
Hot
on there.
corn, dude.
There's
Hot
some
corn.
hot corno going on in there. So it's a
Hot
good
corn.
website. Check it out. You get yourself a bunch of farm picks, get a couple sheep picks here and there. Yeah, check that shit out. It's nice. Bishop GP. What is my thing on there? Bishop 69.
Bish69 on
Bish 69
hotfarmers.com
on
or
Hot Farmers, yeah.
Bishop was here 420 on christianmingle.com.
Right. You've got to remind the Christian audience that we're ready to 428 up, brother.
I remembered.
You remembered? All right,
I
go
was,
ahead.
I was holding my finger up so that I just didn't forget.
Mhm.
As I was writing the script for that video and I was going back in time and pulling VODs and highlights from old streams, there were streams where I had chat up on the overlay. And most of the time is when I was playing a retro game and it was 4x3 and I needed something to fill a lot of the extra space. I always get such the biggest trip from seeing the names in chat and seeing the people that were like Twitch tattooed across the chest, just 110% into being a streamer, and they're just gone. And
Yeah.
not even just like not a streamer anymore, not even a viewer. They are just gone from gaming and streaming completely. You see all of the people in chat and then all of the nostalgic events. You're like, oh man, like that person is a huge douchebag. That person talked behind my back. That person sent me tits. And you're just going through all of these people. And it's this crazy fucking time machine where you're just going back. It's always so odd to me. And it doesn't
Can we
matter.
stop for 1 second?
Yeah.
You've had viewers send you pictures of tits?
Yeah. A couple.
Wait, can we just stop for 1
Wow.
second? You said
Wow.
someone was a douchebag. Someone sent you tits. And then what was the other one?
That talk shit behind my back.
Talk shit. So you only had one viewer, and that was Jimmy. So
Yeah.
Tits?
And
Talk behind my
One viewer.
back. And a
Yeah.
douchebag.
yes.
But just looking at names, and you guys have heard me talk a lot about when you're coming up in streaming, if you are your authentic self, there's always people that are talking about fake streamers and fake people who are only like, I don't run into those people that often, or I'm completely oblivious to those types of people.
Right.
But there has just been some super shady shit. Like there are some people that will just suck every second of content that you put out of your asshole, and they just gobble it up, and they shoot it right back up your butthole, and they're telling you how much they love you and how much you inspire them, and then it was just a giant ploy to one day maybe reciprocate with the raid. And it's crazy to see some people who are like, you're the best streamer that I've ever watched. Here are hundreds of dollars over the course of a couple years, and then they just disappear. It's just completely gone. It's just so fucking weird sometimes.
I've had that happen, but I blame it on myself because I'm not super active at responding to people. Like, I'm probably like the worst person ever.
You're fucking terrible all day today in the Crocs channel. Just a ghost.
True.
I have everything on Discord
Hang
muted.
on. You need to shut up for a second. So for everyone listening to the podcast right now, I love Bishop. He's a great guy. I consider him a friend of mine.
I love him.
I've been able to hang out with him in person, and it was awesome. However, he's not the best at fucking returning texts, calls, anything. He's just This is not what he does. So I don't take it personally. I just know that's the type of person he is. So tonight, when we couldn't get a hold of you in Discord, I knew Casey was streaming, so I just got in your stream and said, hey, would you go ahead and yell at Elliot and say, we need to get on a little earlier than usual? And she goes, oh, no problem.
And then there I am, dude.
You've never not shown up. Yeah. Other than you've been really late one time out of all the time. So I never have any doubts that you will show up. The amount that you are prepared when you show yourself is always sort of like up in the air, but you've never not shown up. So I always have like a certain amount of
trepidation.
Yes. Like
trepidation. Yeah.
I have a certain level.
I know it's part of your personality, so I don't hold it against you.
Yeah, it's. I don't know what it is. It's a weird. And like this is also part of like me. Like Naaackers had a whole 5-hour video. I have to make one about like identifying.
It was
who
6 hours. We watched 6 hours.
Yeah, it just gets long. The longer this podcast goes, the longer that video. But yeah, it's just some weird trait that I have, and I don't know what it is, but it's like if it's something that's not directly in front of me, it's hard for me to give it attention. Like if you and I are in a Discord call, you have like my full attention, right? Like if you're hanging out with me in person, you have my 100% full attention. But if someone texts me, it's just like, unless that's something that caught my attention right then and there, I don't know why, but I just don't focus on it, right? It's not something that I like.
That may not be a bad thing, honestly.
Well, you did see them as they came, like you were reading them, or were you just completely?
So it depends. Sometimes messages will come in and I'll read them at first, but I'm doing something else, and then I'll completely forget about that thing until literally months later, and then all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, hey, I forgot. Naacker, like I'm not looking at the message, but literally in my mind I'll be like, oh, Naacker's messaged me about a capture card. Let me go message him back. Like, it's not that it's completely gone to me, but I think it's because I'm so in the moment of what I'm doing exactly at that moment that it's hard for me to like disconnect from that. And like, I always put things off. So, and I don't know if that has anything to do with the time that I wake up. Because like I feel like I'm always on catch up during the day. So I'm always doing things to try to catch up to where I was at. And then eventually like 6 or 7 o'clock comes around and I'm like, oh, now I'm free. No one's going to bug me now. So I just do what I want. So it's that loop of things that happen. So I want, like, I know it's a trait that I have, and it's yeah, sure, it's a bad thing and it's a good thing. Like, it has its pros and cons, but it's something that I know that I do. So it's like something I'm actively trying to figure out. Right. And it's the same thing with this podcast with talking about different subjects and topics. I'm trying to figure out those certain traits and then adjust them to make them like, to be like super person. You know,
super person.
Yo, we were talking about this before. I broke the seal. So
do your thing.
I want to grab one more drink, and then do you want to hit up questions shortly after coming back?
Yeah, absolutely.
We've been going strong for over an hour and a half now.
Yeah, hour and a half exactly.
Fuck, man.
Wow, that's a long
time flies when you're having fun, right?
This is true.
Hell yeah, brother.
I'll be right back.
I love that shirt, by the way.
His or mine?
His Kappa shirt, his Twitch Kappa shirt.
Oh, gotcha.
What do you have on?
What games have you been playing? We didn't talk about that.
You know what? So we've been doing the community nights in Discord for the past like month and a half. So we've been playing Insurgency, Halo every single week on PC. Absolutely loving Halo. And then I've actually been playing Rocket League with the boys a little bit lately as well.
You know what I really like? So for anyone that's listening that doesn't know, every Wednesday night, Naaackers does a community event. Just like he said, it's been like the past like 8 weeks or so. Just milking it out. It's interesting because there's a lot of streamers, and I know that you were on hiatus, but there's a lot of streamers that do community events, but then they use it for content, which seems disingenuous. But I did a few of the I played in the first few Insurgency events, and I just was super busy with actual work now that I wasn't able to do the other ones. But it seems it's like the most fun that I've had playing games in a while, right? It is super cool because like it's fun to like actually put aside a set amount of time. No one's streaming. It's all people just like hopping into a Discord channel and kind of doing it the way that it used to be when you used to play games. Which is, it just feels nice, right? So, and I like the fact because I've seen a lot of, just like I mentioned, I've seen a lot of streamers try to do community events, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like the sub baiting bullshit. And it just is like, I wish that more streamers took the time to be like, all right, you know what? Instead of streaming on Twitch, let's just do a Discord event. And if people can't play, maybe I'll stream it through Discord. It just feels nice. So I wish that more people took account of that, and we're gonna do that. Right? Like I wish people did that more.
And I'm still recording. Like I still have my OBS replay buffer to record awesome moments because like the Halo video that I put out in the past 2 weeks, I laughed my ass off the entire video through because it's just all nonsense, bullshit, funny stuff that happens, and I absolutely love it. I came from a online PC gaming community before I even knew what Twitch was. So all I knew was TeamSpeak and forums and hosted game servers. And there is such a big part of my heart that is just online multiplayer gaming. And that was kind of like when I came back to streaming, I'm like, you know what? I really need to make a point to have one day a week where we play games together off stream and it not be about making content. And I was like, I could easily just put on the stream and then we could just go. But everybody acts a little bit differently when they know that they're going to be on camera or on stream. Or
it just feels...
Whether you notice it or not. People start to project themselves a little bit too much instead of just being themselves. And I'm still recording the content as you signed the NDA when you joined the Discord. By the way, if you do join the Discord because you are looking for community events, there is a role that you need to assign yourself once you get in there so that you can get in on these events. But I'm going to be making a YouTube video about that in the future. But yeah,
it's in the welcome channel. You can you just react to it with a little emoji, and it's just opting into some rules and making sure that you're not an asshole. So if you get banned, you get banned, and there's no question.
And you agreed to it, But doing the community nights has been absolutely fantastic. I've loved every single one. So Insurgency, Halo, Rocket League. I feel like there was shit, man. I don't even know. Like I said, same thing. When you guys were asking about what streams that I've been watching, I've been so hyper focused on just trying to get back on my feet with streaming and OBS. Hasn't been a crazy amount of gaming, but those are the games that I have played. And I'm currently launching Steam so that I can look at my recommended. I know we played Deep Rock Galactic. We also played The Mean Greens, which is
Deep Galactic? What did you say?
Deep Rock Galactic.
Oh, all right.
Amazing game, by the way. We've been doing Jackbox Party Pack with IRL friends online so that we could have some, social interaction. Those have been the only games really that I've been playing lately. Halo has been a massive chunk of the gaming that I've been doing, and I've just been having such a blast with it.
Yeah, and that's what happened. That's what happened with me. Like when I stopped streaming, it was when Classic came out, WoW Classic. I streamed like my first 2 sessions of it. But the thing with WoW Classic versus like the normal retail version of the game is that the community element is there, right? And like I didn't want streaming, and this is the same reasoning behind you doing your offline gaming events, is I didn't want streaming to take away from that interaction that I was going to have with the other people. So like in the past few months, I've been hopping into Discord with my WoW guildies and just chilling and talking, and we're just bullshitting. And I miss that. Like I miss that like fun little hangout sessions, and like I don't know, like eventually you went from being in a community and playing games with a bunch of your boys, and then maybe one of them started streaming, and then you started streaming, and instead of it being about like the boys, it just became about you guys individually and like what you guys were doing for stream. I don't know. It kind of like, it sucks because like that was probably my most favorite part about streaming, or not streaming, about gaming just in general. It was just like I used to just fuck with people and talk and in discords and whatever and channels and hang out, and I miss that. So I think that knowing that now, I think that in the event that I was to come back and stream, I would really focus on doing things like that I just want to do, and then keep the things like the community events and playing with other people offline. And if people don't want to play when I'm not streaming, that's I mean, there's so many of these types of people that like come in and just want to play while you're streaming.
Yes.
Like I want to have like I don't want to facilitate it to like a streaming day or like a community event day where I'm streaming and my subs can play with me. I just want to have like, hey, we're going to play this game. Here's the server information. Come join us. If you don't want to play, then too fucking bad, right? Like This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to have fun doing. It doesn't matter. Like if that's not your interest, you can come and sit and hang out in Discord.
I'm glad you brought this up because I wanted to hit one other subject before we hit the questions.
All good.
I mean, that last subject. Oh, go ahead.
In retrospect, us only being an hour and 40 minutes into this podcast is actually really, really short.
No, that's because we're trying to streamline, man.
Yeah.
We're moving into the future. We're streamlining.
Word.
You know?
So go ahead.
But no, my last thing I wanted to bring up was Animal Crossing.
Oh.
I told you guys a long time ago I was waiting for the game for me to be playing multiplayer. Yo, dude, I've already done it some on stream, but I am all about having multiplayer Animal Crossing streams where I can bring people into my Discord and chat with while I'm playing the game.
Yeah.
And it's such a great game to
Should
play.
I buy it? I literally never use this thing. This thing sits on my shelf. It does nothing.
Dude, if you I don't know if you like Stardew or not.
Yeah, it's cool.
But Animal Crossing is a game that I've been a big fan of the whole series. Like I got the first release on GameCube, I got it again on the DS, the Wii, the 3DS, and now the Nintendo Switch. And it's not for everyone. There's a very real chance that you wouldn't like it.
Okay.
However, it's worth a shot. And if you like Stardew Valley, it's kind of like a more streamlined version of Stardew Valley, in my opinion.
Okay.
I mean, there's really no way to know if you're gonna like it unless you try it.
Yeah, I never had any of the older Nintendos, like a GameCube, but never had that. So I missed out on those games. But I do like Stardew. So
well, I know Casey's not really into Animal Crossing, even though Casey likes Stardew. We were talking about it on her stream today. But for the millions of people that are into this game, which there's a lot,
we're gonna get her on that.
I thought she. Okay,
yeah, I don't think she's played it. I'll buy it and I'll get her on it too.
Okay, well, all I wanted to say was this: I'm excited about doing Animal Crossing. I've already done where I've had people come into my town and I've been streaming it, But like, I'm gonna do like different viewer nights and sub nights and mod nights, and we'll go visit other people's towns. I mean, it's just a very cool thing.
It's like a community little game. I like that idea. And what I actually did is there's a few other games where like you can just have like an open world, like a Minecraft type of game where you just host a world and say, hey, whenever you want to play on it, you can play on it. This is where I play. Yeah. I did that with Project Zomboid, which is a survival game. And I just threw up the server and I said, hey, here's the information. If you want to join, you can join. And like, you might run into me, you might not. But it just makes it so much nicer, just like this clean interactions. I miss that.
Is that still going on, by the way?
Oh yeah, it's still up.
Okay, because I meant to join that and then I like quit life and but now I'm back.
Yeah. I haven't. I've been like stupid crazy busy more than I normally am. So I haven't actually been playing it, but eventually I'm gonna get back into it. The server's it's up and active. I don't really have plans on taking it down. It's like $8 a month. So I'm just going to leave it up until further notice. But I think what we should potentially try to do, and maybe we'll talk about this offline, but we should just put a list of games, like community games, and just say like a bunch of different streamers or whoever, different community people say, hey, like what assets do you have, or like what sort of servers do you guys have that you know of that you guys play on, and just get a list of them so people can kind of like get together and play together. Because I know that a lot of people.
That's important right now, man. Social interaction is huge, and that's why I'm so excited about Animal Crossing, because it's even getting a guy like me who I don't play a lot of multiplayer things, and I'm excited about playing multiplayer Animal Crossing. Like, it was so cool last night when I was streaming, and my town was full. Like, I had I couldn't even bring any more people over. And Tweenie was running around with a fucking axe.
Dude, she was having a blast.
It was so funny. Like, I had such a good time. Like a genuine good time playing video games. And I've had this conversation with multiple people over the last couple of weeks, but it was one that started with my wife. And I remember looking to her when the game released, because my wife's a huge Animal Crossing fan. She's like me. She's been playing it since the beginning. And I got her that special Animal Crossing Switch. Like, when it went out, I went and pre-ordered it and got it. Yeah. And it's crazy, dude. Like, that same Switch now is like more than twice the cost because there's like this huge shortage with everything that's going on right now. But anyway, the point I was trying to make was it's a great game to play with other people right now. It is like the best description I had was another streamer I follow, a guy named Zerg Hug Party, who's a great dude. Zerg Hug Party. He said it's like a digital Zen garden. And I think that is the best way to describe Animal Crossing. If you can do a lot of mindless stuff on your own, or you can be multiplayer, and it's a great way to pass the time. That's gonna, like, I have been making it a habit to play Animal Crossing before I go to bed for like 15-20 minutes. Like, I don't even.
I think what I'm gonna do is so like Casey and I both have Nintendo Switch, and we never touch them. Like, they are like collecting dust. They are completely pointless to us.
You need to play it. You need to play Animal Crossing.
And like my whole reasoning for not touching my Switch is that most games that aren't made by Nintendo are shitty ports from like iPhone games. So like it just doesn't really make sense for me to play something on a Switch when I can play it on PC or on something better. But I've been looking for like the specific games like Luigi's Mansion or something like that on Switch. So maybe I'll get one copy of it. Casey and I can kind of play it back and forth. And then when I don't get my Switch back, then I'll go get it.
There you go.
Then you'll know.
Then I'll know. But if I have my Switch and I play it and I don't like it, then maybe we won't.
I have to bring it up because it's huge in Twitch right now. I mean, there's so many streamers that I know that I wouldn't even have expected to be into that game that are streaming that game.
Yep.
And it's really been cool to watch. It's got a very large following on Twitch. Mm-hmm. And one of the reasons it does is because the game is so interactive, and it allows you an opportunity, a safe way to be able to interact with other people in a game that a lot of people really enjoy. And it's been, as someone who's experienced it firsthand, I'm loving it. Like, we have 3 Switches in my house. I have one. My son, we got him one for Christmas last year, and then my wife, I just got her this new one when the Animal Crossing came out. We all have a copy of Animal Crossing, and we all sit down. Like, we've been sitting on our couch like a couple times a week the last 2 weeks, where we just play Animal Crossing together, and it is the most amazing experience and wholesome experience that I can't even put into words, because it's just been incredible for all of us.
I think that's what WoW Classic was when it first dropped, because everyone that's been like in gaming, PC gaming, or not everyone, but most of us started in WoW when it first came out. It was this amazing, crazy thing. Yeah. So when it was redropped, like you would join into a server, and you would see like, oh, hey, there's Shroud. Oh, hey, there's Sony. Or you'd be like, oh my God, there's Asmongold, right? Like, all of these big streamers that you would normally not see playing the same game, all of a sudden they were all leveling characters in these different servers. So or like streamers and YouTubers, it's not just streaming, but you'd see a bunch of these people that you don't expect to be in the same place, all like where you can communicate with them, you can run into them. Yeah. So I think it's the same kind of idea, because I've seen some people stream it, but it's more of like it's kind of like VR chat, like a kid's version of VR chat in a way, where like you can have your interactive tasks to do. Yeah. But it's more about like the community element.
Yeah.
So I'll check it out. There's certain games that I don't play, but like, I don't know. They're like Stardew Valley was one of those games that like I just freaked out on, and I spent like 40 hours in a weekend playing. It just disappeared.
It is definitely a game that, I will say this, this is a game that will suck your time. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But I rather enjoy the time suck that comes with this game. But I know that time suck. I had to say something about it because it's a game I've been looking forward to for a really long time. It just released, and I've been having a blast with it. And I'm excited about the future of Animal Crossing streams because it's a fun. Like I'll be doing it weekly or bi-weekly, like probably on the weekends now because I love it that much. So.
Yeah,
you got to play Raft next. Jimbo.
I've heard good things about Raft. Yeah.
Another good Zen game. That was a Zen game for me that I didn't expect to be a Zen game. I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah.
So.
All right, are you boogers ready to get into the Q&A?
Before we go to that,
wait, what?
Wait, what? I had one more subject, and we don't have to make it long. We can. I've in my mind, I've summarized it to make it very simple and short.
I mean, we won't make it long, but we don't know what you're gonna do.
Yeah, we don't know what we're gonna do. So. Obviously, there's all this shit going on with COVID, right? And it's a really interesting situation. We don't know what's going on in most cases. It's kind of like this unwritten book, and there's a lot of negatives to look at. You can't hang out with your friends. You can't go see your family. It sucks, right? There's a lot of shitty stuff going on, and we're all committing to staying in and trying to prevent the spread of it. Obviously, there's the repercussions in the stock market and all of that, and like the economy side of things. But if you are a part of Twitch, realize that now we have all of this opportunity that we never had before where everyone is stuck at home. So whether, you're a content creator, you're someone that really enjoys like the technical perspective of setting up streams. You might have talents that there's other industries that really need us as a community right now. So like if you're like for Jimmy, for instance, he's a teacher. He's probably one of the only teachers, if not the only teacher in his entire district that knows anything about setting up a stream, right? He could be that person for his community and help them to be able to, even though it's not normal, continue things in the state that we're currently in, like by doing online schooling where you can do classes.
I'm going to interrupt you right now and tell you that I've been a point of contact in my school for a lot of troubleshooting for distance learning for a lot of the teachers I work with because I already happen to have that background in doing some of this stuff, and I've made little videos that I haven't put on like I made little videos using OBS with me as my beer, calling myself Professor Pint and walking teachers through how to do basic fucking shit.
Oh my God.
I'm putting them on unlisted YouTube videos, and I've been sending them out to teachers.
Amen, Jimmy. But that's exactly what I mean. Like we are super lucky. I mean, you have to realize that there's people out there, and I'm speaking from the perspective of myself and Naaackers and Jimmy. We have our like man caves where we have all this stuff where we're used to spending all of this time. A lot of people don't have that, which obviously sucks, and they're stuck at home. But like for me, there hasn't been that much change because I sit here every day, all day, right? Like there hasn't been much change for me, and I'm sure it's kind of similar for you guys in a certain perspective. But there's a lot of people that don't understand the technology. They need us to be supportive of them in these communities. So even if, this is a big opportunity for you, like maybe you just lost your job, maybe you got laid off in this time. If you know a thing or two about setting up a stream, or you've done streaming in the past, whatever industry you were just in, maybe communicate to those people in that industry and say, hey, I know a thing or two about, video conferencing from home and how to set it up and how to do it. And you could be a really valuable resource right now in that space. So look at this as an opportunity. Obviously, there's a lot of shitty stuff going on, but there's a lot of potential and opportunity in our space specifically that is incredible, right? We're in the right industry right now as streamers and people that are involved in this platform to be able to create a really big impact. For instance, from my own story, I just started, just like I said, working for this company called UMG. We do live events and esports. Every other sports event is canceled, right?
Yep.
Everything is canceled. All of these different ESPN, you have Sports Center, all of these, these media conglomerates are looking for content, and the only place that they can go for competition is digital, right? So esports and competition. So, for instance, one of the projects that we're working on is taking motorsports and moving it to a digital platform because it's something that can translate one-to-one. And it's this huge opportunity. And I've never been more busy. It's super weird because usually I'm not super busy, right? Like with work-related stuff. But it's like the ecosystem just changed and flip-flopped. So obviously a lot of stuff sucks, but you know, I'm keeping myself sane by keeping myself busy by trying to provide solutions to these people that really just don't have any clue on how to do a lot of this stuff.
Yes.
So if you're feeling shitty, if you feel like you're kind of stuck from that perspective, and you know you just got laid off or you know something along those lines, realize that your talents that you've been spending, you know, the past year on Twitch, even if you don't know a lot, you probably know a lot more than most of the people that you work with.
Mm-hmm.
So insert yourself as that person that can be an expert, that can help things go and continue, even though you guys are staying at home.
Yeah, very nice, Bishop. Hey, and you kept that all under about 3 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and applaud you. That's a loud applause. I'm impressed. Congratulations. I'm dab it up
For all the millennials.
And
yes, good job.
As a quick piggyback, I have, you know, our team has shown that we can all do our jobs 100% remotely with the occasional on-site. So I really am setting myself up for 4 or 5 years from now when I want to move out of town and I say, hey, I'm moving, but keep me on the payroll for a year. I will help train your new person, but also work remotely. And that's going to kind of be a segue for me to get a different job when I move out of state.
There you go.
And with that being said, I mean, I'm sure we can all be like, Jimmy, if you have any questions about, because I know you're just working from home now and it's a little bit of a transition. I've been working home for like 4 or 5 years, which is, or maybe 3 years. So if anyone has any specific questions on doing anything from home, like whether that be streaming or video conferencing, anything that they would normally do, like jerking off, I've got tons of experience with all of this sort of stuff. So
yes, tell me more about jerking off from home.
Yeah, you really just want to get a safe space where it's quiet.
It's no different than jerking off at work.
Yes,
yeah,
right?
it's really the same thing, just with less people looking at you.
All right, we good to go into Q&A?
Yes, sir. Send it.
First question from Ember Strife. To everyone, how did it feel to groom yourself to be on camera again? Kappa HD.
I did take a shower today, so that's a plus. I shaved the mustache. It's easy. I'm going to be wearing more hats. And not because I didn't like hats. It's just when I had longer hair, I hated wearing hats because it fucked my hair up.
Yeah.
So now that I don't have hair, I have a shaved head.
Isn't that so efficient? It feels so nice when I have
it does. It really does feel nice.
Yeah.
And there are some, I got to look at it as a glass half full sort of thing. Do I like having hair? Sure. Do I like being able to wear baseball caps? Yes. So I get to wear, and I get to represent my Detroit friends, man.
I thought that was a P for Pittsburgh.
Yeah. No, Detroit, baby.
Oh.
I got this at a Tigers game. I went to a Tigers game with Naaackers and a bunch of us, man. It was a blast.
Naaackers was from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he was. He is from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
I do not remember that game. I do not remember going to that game. Like sitting in this moment right in the. If you would have said, I got
Twinny
this
was
hat.
there. She
I know.
probably remembers.
If you would have said, I got this hat at a gift shop in my town, I would have said, yeah, that's exactly where he got it. I completely forgot that we went to a baseball game together.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was like 3-4 years ago.
See, that's the difference between Naaackers and I. I might not get back to you immediately, but when I spend time with you, I will remember.
You're gonna remember.
everything.
It was like that time I kicked your ass at Street Fighter. You're never gonna
you
forget that.
destroyed me, and then we went out and we got some pizza afterwards, and
it was
we
great.
went back for seconds, brother.
That's right. Oh wait, I've kicked pretty much everyone's ass. I
Yeah.
beat your ass at Street Fighter too.
That shit's not
The
funny.
reigning champion.
Okay,
dude.
I don't like that at all. I have to be I have a daily video call with my team and my manager and my boss every single day, first thing in the morning. I don't necessarily make myself all that presentable, but I'll make sure the stash is straight and I have a shirt and a hat and stuff on. So, honestly, not that different. And I've been recording, even during this stream, I've been recording content at least 4 times a week for the entirety or for the majority of my break. And so I've had to be so it's no different. I see no difference whatsoever.
I like the beard though. I like the little beard
that's
thing
nice.
you got
Thanks.
going. It looks good.
It now grows. So before I used to shave from here up, like this would all be shaved. This grows in now all of a sudden. I don't
That was
fucking.
awesome. No, it looks good.
So I just
when you went live yesterday, it fucking threw me.
Oh wow,
Okay.
yeah,
That
look at
much
Let me
it threw
full screen
you?
this.
Yeah, it threw me. I was like, oh shit, this
fuck,
motherfucker's got a little beard now. All right.
Dude, this thing's nice. That's a nice
Yeah.
beard. It used to be
Yeah.
it used to be like
Looks good.
chin level, yeah. Like
Little chin
mine.
strap. I call it the cholo strap. I don't know if that's also
Yeah.
racist. We're really trying not to be.
Yeah, listen, as three
Yeah, you're
white dudes,
racist.
we're really best not to be racist. We're sorry. All right. That should be at the end segment. We're sorry for anything that's been
Yeah.
said in this
Powwow.
stream.
We'll just
Indian
look,
style.
We'll go back over and just bleep it all out. Okay.
Yeah, beep.
I'm not going to do that. Okay. That's cool.
Remember to say crisscross applesauce.
This is
Yes.
true. From middle-aged stream, Elliot, are you ever going to grow a real mustache?
Wow. I actually
Did you not see that go through chat?
no, I didn't. I don't look at chat. I try not to.
I try not to either, but I was like, please don't see it. I want to save it for the end.
Oh, I actually, dude, I had a thick fucking bitch for a little while, man. That thing was a freaking mustache. I was, to answer Ember's question too, because I think I just skipped over it. I was growing like just a roughy beard because it like a week or two prior to the stay-at-home notice bullshit. I was staying at home, and I noticed my beard was growing bad, so I had to shave it the other day. It was getting like all itchy and shit, so I was like, axed it. But I'll grow a mustache pretty. Maybe I'll do it next time around. I actually was shaving and I just went ramp, and I was like, oh, I should have left a mustache. That would have been smart.
Yeah,
But
you
it
really
was
Son
should
of
like-
a bitch.
I would have looked like a dictator. Some people, or well, most people don't like. Hopefully, most people don't like.
It's weird because like I started growing a mustache out around May of last year,
Mhm.
and now and then I had it pretty much until I shaved it around the end of November.
Yeah, shit's back, dude. Naaackers
And
disappeared,
now-
the mustache
and-
comes back.
And now I'm like, it's weird not having a mustache. It is
Yeah.
weird because before it was weird having one. Now it's weird not having a mustache.
Yeah,
It looks
don't
good on you, so you should keep it.
yeah,
Ah,
it's
thanks.
a nice mustache, man.
Thanks.
You look good, dude.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, absolutely.
Next question from Paul. What's the first thing you want to do when this whole situation is fucking over?
We should have
Good.
an offsite TwitchCon and just everyone goes to Vegas.
I'm pretty sure TwitchCon's probably going to get canceled.
Yeah.
Thank God, dude. That thing's a shithole.
I told my family when this is all over with and everything's behind us, which won't be this summer, but hopefully next summer. Then I was gonna take them to the Star Wars Disneyland, like the whatever it's called. I don't know. You know what I mean? The Star Wars park at Disneyland.
Yeah, didn't they open that like a few months ago?
Yeah. So I told them I will take them there when this is all over with. We're gonna go do that, and we're gonna stay there and to get the full experience. Like like with the people, they have the actors there doing shit, and
Yeah.
we're gonna stay at the hotel. It'll be awesome.
Do you guys
And-
have you guys ever seen? I used to go to trade shows quite a bit, but they used to have like these iPads with like on a stand. And people would be like FaceTiming on the iPads. So it'd be like a Segway with an iPad sticking out of it. So it was like an offsite person. And they used to use them at trade shows. But I don't know why that popped in my head after you're talking about Disneyland, because I think that they're trying to do like virtual tours of Disneyland right now. And
Wow.
that company's probably booming right now. They got like everyone beforehand is like, these things are fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like, who would want a fucking iPad with wheels representing a person where their face is FaceTiming you? Like, that's dumb as shit. And now they're like, wow, actually, hey, we're really sorry about this. We probably should have thought about this. It's probably, we were going to need a couple of those.
But yeah, that's my only plan. The only plan is we're gonna go take a nice trip. I'll be back in the Northwest again. We were gonna be in the Northwest. I was gonna see. I'm sad I'm gonna miss Naaackers this year because there won't be a MitchCon. I've been doing that the last 4 years.
FishCon.
Yeah, there will be no BishCon this summer because I won't be able to go up to Portland. It sucks, man, but that's all gonna happen hopefully next summer. So that's my plan. Like when I have some time off, we're gonna do a little traveling and be able to enjoy some time away.
I owe Casey a few sushi dinners, so we're gonna go and do that.
Ooh.
I think. Yeah, go get
There
some
you go.
sushi.
Being in quarantine isn't that different from my normal social life. I've talked about this a bunch, but I probably see friends once every 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I see family once a month, if not every other month. So it's not that different. I am missing restaurants and takeout more than anything. And that probably says a lot about me as a person, but I can still talk to my friends. I can still video chat and I can play video games. I can't even look at the sandwich that I want to fuck. I just have to imagine that I'm fucking it. And that just drives me absolutely up the wall.
But on the flip side, dude, your cooking level has shot up from when I met you to where it is now.
Yeah.
It's like night and fucking day, dude.
Yeah.
You didn't even know how to work. You didn't know how to cook a hot dog or a hamburger on a charcoal grill when I met you.
Yeah.
Okay? So
I can't do shit, man.
I mean,
used to be
it's
trash.
impressive to see how far you've come.
Thank you.
When I was living on my own, I would go get Chick-fil-A pretty much every day, or Chipotle. And then when I was forced to cook myself stuff, I would make like just dog shit eggs, just fucking trash eggs. And then I boiled chicken once. I took a bunch of raw chicken breast and just put it in a fucking big pot and thought I could boil it. I didn't end up eating it. But yeah, I was fucking everything up. But what I didn't realize is that I thought you had to just cook everything on fucking max heat. I was like, why wouldn't you just have it on max? You just
make it as fast as possible.
Yeah, just fast as fuck, dude. You just throw the eggs in there and it just be, and then you get those things out of the pan. But I've learned to be way more patient. And Casey taught me how to make eggs, and I'm pretty good at it now. So I'll survive.
See, and on the other hand,
you're like the worst cook ever.
Yeah,
dude, I'm actually dog fucking
boiling chicken.
Cooking. I was boiling chicken.
You are
dude.
so lucky you're with Casey, dude. You are so lucky,
dude.
Like,
oh fuck, dude. I swear to God, dude. I should have done a stream back in the day. Holy fuck, dude. That was yeah. You don't want to boil them chickens there. That's tastes like dog shit. Oh fuck, it was so gross. I remember taking a few bites.
It's funny because it's the opposite in the Naaackers house, because Tweenie, she doesn't really do much cooking
at all.
It's Naaackers that does all the cooking.
100% of the cooking.
100%. Whereas in my home, I do about 10% of the cooking. My wife does the other 90%. I do 10. I do all the stuff with meat, pretty much. Well, if there's a lot of meat to be served. If it's just like a little bit, no big deal. But like,
yeah, I didn't salt my eggs or pepper my eggs. Yeah. When I was making them, no salt, no pepper. I said that Casey just reminded me. Never put salt in my eggs. Never peppered them. Never put butter in a pan. I literally just didn't know anything about cooking at all. Like had no fucking clue.
Tweenie made a comment in chat. I need to address. She can make cookies, and you did make chocolate. Not last summer, the year before that. We had cookies and they were delicious.
Yeah, so she makes amazing cookies.
She does make good cookies.
The only eggs that you can rush, which is eggs that I indulged in this morning, was a French omelet. I can make a pretty good French omelet now, and I made 2 of those this morning. And
or a fried egg.
Or a fried egg, you can do that in about 45 seconds. Casey, this is directed strictly at you. I have found that when it comes to French omelets, I like to sprinkle coarse salt over the top of a finished French omelet as opposed to kosher. Kosher salt. You just sprinkle that on top of the French omelet, and then getting that salty crunch with the God, it's so fucking. I want a French omelet right now.
Did you see how he tried to like pretend like he didn't mean to make that mistake by saying coarse kosher salt right there,
right,
and how he just kind of like redirected. That was. Pro.
Wait, what mistake did I make?
No,
you don't need to know, dude.
Don't worry about it.
Man. Yeah.
Next question.
Next question.
Kosher salt.
Hey, can you?
No, I want to fucking know what happened. I want to throw it to Bishop.
Question.
I'm fucking.
Next question, dude. I'm over it too. Next question.
But honestly, if you don't know how to make your when this shit starts to like relax and you can start actually buying stuff from stores, buy a bunch of eggs and then watch a bunch of videos, because eggs are cheap as shit and you can fuck them up a bunch of times, and just try to make some good eggs, because you can make like god tier delicious breakfast eggs that are like completely like I used to go every single morning and go get breakfast somewhere. that it was no longer needed. Like I can make something better than I could ever buy.
Oh yeah.
And it's mind blowing.
What's wrong with my salt?
The most amazing breakfast tacos while we've been on quarantine.
Yeah.
And we get we have country eggs. We have a neighbor who gives us eggs. Like we don't buy them from the store.
You're so fucking lucky.
Like we trade like stuff for the eggs. Either we pay cash or
wait, time out. What are you trading, brother?
We either pay cash. We either pay cash or my wife gives peppers or onions or whatever from our garden for eggs. We just trade. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Hey, you know what?
We're back to the old barter system, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Good,
hey,
good shit. Good shit.
That's actually amazing.
It's fun. No, dude, the freaking like true like regular wild free running chicken eggs. Oh, they're so good. Oh my god. Now their yolks are like way more intense than like
red, right? Like red or
the
orange.
Store bought. They're like real orangey compared to the other eggs you get.
Yep.
They're very good,
man. They're good.
Oh yeah.
You can buy. There's a few brands of eggs that are really good. I know that they have them at like Whole Foods and Safeway. That, but there's a few really decent brands. I don't know what they are off the top of my head.
I spend $5 a carton on eggs.
Yeah,
I don't fuck around when it comes to the eggs.
I never knew.
Yeah,
I was like,
there's a
who
big
gives
difference.
a fuck?
Yeah.
Why would you care if like an egg? It's an egg, right?
Yeah.
Like I never knew. But as soon as I knew, and like you try the difference between, like,
the other eggs are not bad. They're still good.
No, they're still good, but there's a big difference.
There is a big. It's like going from. It's like it'd be the best
like
way
Monster
I can explain
versus
it.
Red Bull.
No, not even that. I would say it'd be like if you went to go have a hot dog for the first time and you went to like microwave a hot dog and you took it out of a microwave and ate it in a bun, as opposed to going to like fucking Dodger Stadium or Yankee Stadium and getting an actual hot dog from the vendor. I mean, it's a different quality of hot dog. Like, you're gonna pay out your ass at the Yankee Stadium.
We are so goddamn stupid that we're sitting in like we're like amazing.
Oh, your mic cut out.
Yeah, your mic cut out. I have no idea what you said.
Is that okay? So that's happened to you too, Jimmy. So it's not on my end.
No, it's happened to me. Yeah.
All right. Speaking of eggs, what the fuck was wrong with the salt that I chose to speak about?
I was just giving you shit.
I don't
believe you. You were making fun of the salt that I was using.
I was just giving you shit. I was literally just trying to fuck with you. That's all I was doing.
You did. You got me.
Nothing wrong. There was nothing wrong.
Don't talk to me about salt, because
I'll
fuck your ass.
I obviously no. I was just giving you shit. I figured I just like drop a little fucking. It worked, obviously.
So, 6 salt.
I dropped the seed in your brain. It sprouted, and now you can't get out of your brain.
Now you're pissed off. Now you're a salty little bitch.
I'm salted, man. Fucking salt me.
I just ninja'd your brain.
Coarse
I just ninja'd your brain.
And kosher. Coarse and kosher.
Your brain was ninja'd. You're welcome.
Yeah,
got me.
You baited, dude.
Next question. We haven't even made it halfway. We have actually. Pyro asks, do you believe there will be another NAND shortage? Bad like there was in the latter half of 2018 throughout half of...
What's the Pyro 515?
Yes.
Probably some tech bullshit.
NAND as in
what is a NAND shortage?
I can't remember if this is in regards to hard drives or CPUs.
Necromancy adjacent control.
A NAND gate, a logic gate, which produces an output which is false only if all inputs are true.
I'm just gonna say this: there's gonna be a lot of shortages in the next year, and they're gonna come in spurts.
Yeah,
because
hard drives.
You're gonna have moments where people can't go to a factory to build stuff because the virus is gonna hit in an area, which is going to be production of a particular type of product, which is going to affect other products.
Yep.
So what's going to happen is the supply chains are going to get fucked all over the world for certain types of products, and it's going to go like this. You know, we're seeing it right now with a simple thing like with the Nintendo Switch. But it's going to start affecting other supply chains and things as well. Hopefully the things that it affects are things that are not necessarily things that you have to have immediately, that you need immediately. So NAND
is flash memory. So memory, solid states.
Pyro's my favorite person. He comes off of like tech forums and he has questions that are so irrelevant. The funny thing is that every fucking technology is going to be depleted. Who gives a shit about NAND? CPUs are going to come in short. The next generation of GPUs are going to be delayed. every piece of technology is literally going to be delayed
Yeah.
because of this. Like it's just going to happen because you need people to make PCBs, which they can't go to the factories. So your delivery dates are getting pushed back they're getting pushed back over and over again. Everything is going to get delayed, right? It's just the reality behind it. Unless these manufacturers have pre-produced a overwhelming stock to support the demand, it's probably not going to happen. Also, the demand's going to go down, so it could level itself out in an odd way.
Yep.
For a lot of like the technical stuff, because the people aren't making as much money, the demand's probably going to go down. So that's probably going to happen. There's probably going to be a lot of adjustments, just like Jimmy said. But regarding NAND, who gives a shit? All of the technology is going to get hit by this, unless there's a huge overwhelming stock of stuff. So you're going to see that all across the board, not just with one particular thing.
Yep, because you've got millions of people that just bought a brand new computer so that they could work from home. And then in 3 months or 6 months, when they're no longer working from home, they're just going to have a computer that they know absolutely no idea what to do with.
They're going to start streaming, man.
That
We're
too.
going to see a wave of streamers.
Yeah.
This is a bad time to announce my OnlyFans.
Yeah. No. I thought we had a segment. I thought we had a segment at the very end.
The perfect time.
Next question from Matt Weenie. When was the last time you disinfected your mic?
Oof.
Never.
I mean, here's the good thing. I'm the only one that uses
on this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's literally no one in this room except me.
Are you covered in the blood
cat.
of Jesus, so you don't got to worry about it?
Like I have nothing to worry about because like even my son comes in here just to like hang out. No, like he'll go sit. I have a bed over on this corner, and I'm actually getting ready to totally redo my office. But my son comes and hangs out over here. Like the only one who spends any significant time in here is me, so I'm not worried about disinfecting my damn microphone, man.
Yeah, mine. I've washed this before. Casey and I washed this once, and we put it in like a little plastic Tupperware thing with soap in it. It was like black water that came out of it. It was so gross.
I bet. I'm sure this is nasty.
Yeah, this one is really gross. But yeah, luckily I can't contract anything from myself, so it's good.
I like the way my mic smells.
Ooh, mine's
Next question from Paul. Naaackers, can you say the console consoled the console plebs with the con queso? There you go. I think he's making fun of the way that I say console or console. Yeah. I say console for everything. Yeah. PC
Xbox 360 is a what?
It's a council. It's a council, like a council of consoles. Yeah. It's a council of consoles.
It's a console, or it's a council of CPU cores.
There you go. Next question.
That would be more like the PlayStation 3 with the cell chip.
Talking about NANDs? NANDs?
Yes,
dude?
NANDs.
Yeah,
NANDs.
What do you guys think about NANDs and NAS systems regulated towards like the new RAID 16 that's coming
Shut the fuck up.
Next question. Is Bishop ever going to stream again?
Jimmy, I'm going to allude to you on this.
Tomorrow. He's streaming tomorrow on twitch.tv.
You done did it.
At 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. BishopGP will be returning to twitch.tv. April 6, 2020 at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. All right, correct me if I'm wrong.
Man, that's it seems so specific.
If you want to throw that to me.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go ahead here and throw this to Naaackers, who just actually returned from a hiatus himself. So he should have information from the streaming group that does manage all of this stuff. Of course, all the streamers are under one umbrella, and we actually have managers that tell us when to go on break. So Naaackers, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So what I can say after 3 months of not streaming is at a time like this, when it's the most important to get shit right, I got to throw it over to Jimmy and just figure out where his head is at, make sure that we're kind of on the same wavelength.
So to answer the question, the best way I know how is when streamers are ready to stream, they will stream. Will Bishop stream again? I think so. I don't think he's done streaming, but
maybe I'll play some Mountain Blade tomorrow night.
Might be a while. It might be a while. It might be a day. It might be 24 hours. It might be 24 weeks.
I've been interested in streaming every now and then part of me is just like,
So, sometimes streamers stream,
Yeah. I've been getting the knack for it though. The Naaackers for it.
Yeah, the Naaackers.
I'm gonna eat your asshole.
My Naaackers
I am the.
All right. Last question from Paul. How do you feel about channel points? Do they work for your stream or the streams you watch?
Ladies first, please.
Go ahead.
I think that when people get creative, it's a great tool. I think when people find really cool and interesting ways to integrate it, it's just another currency, right? It's cool that it's directly integrated with Twitch instead of it being some like stream elements or something like that. So it can be, I keep using integrated. I'm trying to think of another word, but it's integrated with Twitch, which is great. When it's just basic, it's just fucking pointless. Who cares? I have 50,000 points from different channels, and who gives a shit? It means nothing to me. But in other channels, like Casey's stream, she has a reward for painting a mustache on her face with a Sharpie. So
I'd like to think I was
I'm
an
saving my
influence in
points.
that. I'd like to think.
I think it should be called the Jimmy special. The
Yes,
middle-aged special.
Yes.
But yeah, it's cool when people get creative. Like Conbot has a lot of doing deep fries and different scenes.
Absolutely.
But yeah, as long as the streamer's creative enough to utilize them. It's always awful when streamers have 50 different widgets and shit all over their stream and none of them have any thought to them. It's just shit, right?
I like it. I'm still trying to hammer down for myself as a streamer. I'm still trying to hammer down the amount of points that I should use for them all, because you don't want to have them too low because then you're doing it too much. You don't want to have them too high because then no one can redeem them.
Yeah.
But I think they're a good thing. I like them better than just having an integrated bot command that you could get with channel points, because then it could totally ruin flow. And the way this is set up, it's they've redeemed it. Now it's your opportunity as a streamer to redeem what they've done. So you kind of pick the time to do it. So I've integrated a lot of those things on my own stream, and I'm trying to learn that balance right now. But like you said, it's the beautiful thing of it is it's already automatically integrated into Twitch on mobile, on every platform, whatever you're watching on, you can earn points. And so I think it's for me, it's fun because I've thought of a couple of cool things to do. I've stolen some cool things to do from other streamers. And so I enjoy it. I think it's a neat addition to Twitch, and I'm embracing it. I'm just trying to fine tune it for my own channel.
I am on the complete opposite side of the spectrum, to where just trying to think of unique alerts for different tip or bit tip tiers, I had a panic attack just trying to think of things. When I think about trying to be creative for my own stream, incentivizing tiers of interaction are the absolute last thing that I think about. When it comes to making the subscriber channel in my Discord worthwhile, or trying to think of things to do with channel points, even trying to think of things for VIP, trying to come up with reasons why people should, I struggle with that. Really bad. And it's really difficult for me to spend time, because I feel like the more time that I obsess about that stuff, the less time I have to actually consider my content and being creative in the content that I'm trying to put out. And that's not to, I'm just not good at it, I think, is what it comes down to when it comes up to, because I feel like I always have to be on top of it, and I always need to be coming up with new things to keep it fresh. And it just feels like an incorrect use of my creative energy out of the grand scheme of things. So I am terrible at incentivizing things for chat. I just know, try to make good content that is watchable. Anything outside of that realm, I fall short, and I will admit that.
I feel like what you're saying is more because you haven't had it in your channel, because this really became a thing for us the last couple of months, and you haven't been streaming.
Right.
I was the same way out the gate, and after seeing some other streamers and the cool things they were doing, you even said yourself you haven't been watching as much Twitch, and you've been focused on your. I think once you get back into it, streaming again, and I think you're gonna find some stuff that you'll be able to figure out a good way for redemptions. I really do. Like, I think you will.
Maybe right now in my current mindset, when
It doesn't need to be a priority.
No,
Absolutely not.
I know
Yeah.
that. But when I think
Yeah.
about channel points on the grand scheme, I think of me trying to do my thing and then people in chat going, "Hey, do this thing for me."
Yeah.
And then I don't think that is a scalable interaction. It's probably, it's kind of like sound effects in your stream, right? In the beginning,
it 100% is.
Yeah.
It's just you have a little more control over it. Because like I have like ridiculous rewards. Like I have one where like if you hit 50,000 points and I will stop what I'm doing and I will play Battletoads for 30 minutes. And I've already done it twice. Okay.
Wow.
And it's always been a fun sort of situation. Like I'm like, all right, well, I got to play Battletoads for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But
It interrupts. It interrupts. Like if you can find a way that it interrupts something that you're doing in a fun and creative way, then it should be fun, right?
Yes.
It should be
It is
something
fun.
that people look to.
It's lighthearted. It costs a ridiculous amount of points for someone to redeem that, and it's been done. And so I don't think I like to see it as a way to where you can kind of put a little taste of your own something that people want and something you want and have something fun. Like it just depends on how you embrace it. That's the way I see it.
I think that Naaackers and I are kind of, and maybe you as well. I think all, but and this kind of goes back to what I was saying with, I don't like when streamers just grab every element, like stream elements, chat bot, have every fucking plugin that there is, and they have like a million things on their stream to look at. If it's not properly integrated into your stream to be something that actually provides some sort of value, I feel like it's just like a lost cause and a total waste of time. So I totally get that. What from what Naaackers was saying, like it seems like it's overwhelming because there's so many options. I think the cool thing with the stream points is it's automatically integrated, so people don't have to learn it. Right? It's something that they've seen on. Integrated. Yeah, integrated. It's automatically integrated onto Twitch, so every viewer is gonna have some sort of experience with it from watching other channels. So it's not something you have to learn like Streamlabs chatbot or any of the things that track points for other systems. But the other cool thing is that you just simply put in a few things at a time. You don't have to add a bunch of shit. Like I think Conbot has one for like 5 million points that you can just end stream, just turn the stream off, which I think is really funny because it's something that people are gonna like. They're gonna save points.
Someone's gonna save 5 million points, and one day, a year from now, Conbot stream's gonna end.
Yeah,
it's just gonna have to end.
I think that's really cool. It's just like I like the fact that it's there, but you don't have to mess with it. But if you want,
you can.
People are getting points right now, right? Like people are obtaining points. They might not be able to use it for a lot of stuff. Maybe they highlight a message, but eventually you can add that tier in to make it a little bit more interesting, right? So I think that's cool.
I think there's way more good to it than bad. And if you don't want to do anything with it, you can leave the default shit. Like I know other streamers that feel that way. Yeah. And I totally understand their feelings. And it just really depends on the streamer and the stream, you know? So don't, if you don't want to mess with it, and whenever you decide if you do, then do. If not, who gives a shit? You know, whatever.
Do your own thing.
Honestly, it's a very minute thing that they're adding. It's like it's not like gonna make or break your stream,
right?
You know.
No, I agree.
Fuck you, fuck you, Naaackers.
Look, my butthole is tight and wet, so you get out of here. Okay.
Wait, what?
Okay. Wait, which one?
What?
The tip of your penis?
What?
That is it for the question and answer part of the podcast, and therefore it is also the end of the podcast. So what we're going to do is go around the room, have everybody introduce themselves at the end of the podcast, tell you where you can find them online, and then we're going to close this down and rate another channel if you want to stick around. So, Bishop, where can we find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at Bishop What's Here, on Twitch at BishopGP. You can find me producing graphics at twitch.tv/UMG Gaming. We have a bunch of events that run weekly. So if you're looking for some content, some Rocket League, some Overwatch, we're doing some stuff there. So you can check out some of the stuff I'm doing. But besides that, find me here on this podcast. Maybe not next week, depending on what Naaackers does with his schedule, but you'll find me here unless I get fired.
Respond to my DMs.
name is Jimmy, aka MiddleAgedStream. You can find me mainly on Twitch at MiddleAgedStream, MiddleAgedStream on Twitter. And I'm actually gone to a new schedule because I'm now working from home and I'm trying to space it out and get one extra day in. So Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays now, I'll be on around 8 o'clock Central Time on Twitch, playing, whatever the fuck I feel like. So, yeah.
Yeah, go fuck yourself, chat.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, you go eat buttholes.
I play what I want, chat.
I own shit now.
My name is Naaackers. You guys can find me on this very channel or on Instagram and Twitter at Naaackers with 3 A's. Tonight was absolutely fantastic. An awesome first podcast back after 3 months of not doing any podcasts. Bishop and MiddleAgedStream. It was really good to see both of you guys. Thank you so much for entertaining my tight butthole and being here and having a good time.
The pleasure was all mine, man. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Pleasure was all yours.
I don't think there's going to be a podcast next Sunday because I'm trying not to overdo things as I come back. But you can almost guarantee that there will be another Crocs and Hot Pockets with Bishop and MiddleAgedStream 2 weeks from now. Thank you guys so much for checking out this podcast. We're going to rate another channel if you want to stick around for that. But other than that, fuck yourself. Right. I love you.
In the butthole, the sweaty butthole.
Fuck yourself right up your own penis hole.
Yeah, you fuck that penis.
in that fucking penis.
Oh my God. All right, stick around if you want to raid. Otherwise, eat a penis, and we'll see you guys later. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you very much for checking out this episode of the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast. If you would like to catch the show live, it airs on Twitch on my channel at twitch.tv/Naaackers at 9 p.m. every single Sunday. If you would like to check out the most recent episode of the podcast, you can probably click this little box here. And if you feel like checking out some of our highlights, you can maybe click this little box down here. And maybe I'll even put a little thing for you to click right here. No? Bye.